We got it.
Wow.
I'm
actually really impressed.
Timing.
Perfect timing. So I'm with Emma Wilson, my
Hello.
partner.
Hello.
And it is a sunrise beachside podcast. We've never done a podcast before. We're going to do one. And forgive me for any wind or mic rustling like I'm doing right now. And hold on, let me. Gosh, I don't know what to discuss. I guess I don't know what do we want to go into the significance of the beach and the sunrise?
Yeah.
What do
Let's
you think?
do that.
I don't know. What is it to you? To us?
Our first trip, I guess that was like soon into when we started dating.
Yeah.
We came to this beach to get some time away, and we saw the sun set the one day. The next day we came out and saw the sun rise like today.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, it was like when our relationship really started, I feel like.
Yeah, it was a time of battling demons and whatnot.
Yeah.
And just, because I guess it's if we discuss anything that you don't want going on the podcast, it's like I've always been somebody who, would sabotage my own potential relationships with someone who's special. And that was what was going on with me is, I was doing the same patterns, and I'm grateful that I'd say I beat my demons and whatnot. But yeah, this beach was special because for whatever reason, none of it felt real.
Yeah.
The beach never felt like real life, and it just felt like nothing. It felt like the simulation. Like it felt like we kind of cracked through the simulation.
Yeah.
Like that bird over there, there's no way it's real.
No,
the one flying behind you, yeah, no, that one's fake. It's a drone, one of the New Jersey drones.
Yeah.
The
birds are included in that.
So here's the thing: should we discuss that more, or should we go into the New Jersey drones? I don't know if we should. Do we want to
Let's
be labeled?
Leave that.
Yeah, we'll leave that out. Yeah. She knows something, guys. I don't know. She's a New Jersey girl. But yeah, dude, that's beautiful. Having a sunrise on a podcast. We got here. We woke up at what?
5:45.
5:45.
Yeah.
Originally was like planning 5:30 or something, but yeah, we basically got up, and I was thinking, we're probably not gonna make it in time because it's gonna take a while to set all this up, and I don't know, dude. We somehow got it done, and here we are. But
yeah.
Yeah, the beach, man. It's a special place.
It's special. Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe we could go two different directions. We could either. I often ask people at the beginning of a podcast, and I'll ask an easy question. Easy questions often: how did we meet? Or we can talk about Phantom Friend.
Doesn't matter to me.
How did we meet?
We met on Bumble.
You mean we didn't meet at the library?
Not quite. But no, it's worked perfect for us.
Yeah.
Like, it was the perfect way to start. And I remember the question that I haven't even told you this. There's sand just warning you.
Oh yeah, sand.
Turn it around.
Where?
On the lip. Is there?
Oh.
It's okay. I'm just warning you.
I'll get Sandy coffee. It's all right.
I remember you were talking about your writing and how you thought it was really cute, hot. I don't remember the word you used. If people wrote.
Oh yeah.
And I remember messaging you about that.
Yeah. Now I remember that. Yeah, I'm glad I asked you that question about how we met because I remember that now. It was something about like I'm weirdly attracted to other writers.
Yeah.
And what's funny is like I always would I found that prompt would be very useful for me to find someone because like when I would know if this is somebody that stands out, somebody's unique and special from the very first message. Like, I've had several first messages from people who I met on online dating out of hundreds that were just dumb.
Yeah.
Or just not, or just weren't, it wasn't going to, it's obviously it wasn't going to go anywhere.
Right.
But I'd have a first message, and it would always be a very thoughtful first message, and you were no different. But like for you, like I felt something really different about you. I'm like A, I find her very attractive. B, she's like so thoughtful, and it's like so many boxes get checked, and then I didn't even know need to get checked, and I could sense that just before even talking to you, I felt something different, and I'm like, I'm somebody who I have to only talk to one person at a time on online dating,
Yeah, so am I.
and like I can't divide my attention,
Mm-hmm.
and right before we started talking, I just started messaging someone else, or somebody started messaging me, or
Yeah.
whatever, and I was like, oh, this might be the next person I go on a date with, and that's the person I focus on. And I was right about to like cut myself off from any like other messages from anyone else. And let me just make sure my microphone's turned towards me. Sorry. And I basically found you started messaging me, but
Yeah.
it was too early for me to determine if oh my gosh, my nose. Sorry.
You're okay.
Ugh, whatever. It's going in the podcast. My nose dripping. So freaking cold.
So cold.
I saw, I just got snot on my microphone. Fuck. Testing. All right. I basically saw, it was too early for me to cut off the other person.
Yeah.
And that's actually my recommendation is, like, if you're, dude, that sun is
I know.
actually set. It's rising right in the mid.
Are you serious?
Of that camera.
I just looked at the sun, so I
That
can't
is
see,
so
but
cool. Oh my gosh.
I
Wow.
love it.
Okay.
Way to go.
Dude. Wow. That's freaking awesome. Yeah, my recommendation is, like, if you're looking to make online dating work, at least for guys. I don't know about women. I think it's true of women, but it's tougher for women because you got to deal with guys that don't do this. But if you're a guy, I would say, first off, know how to set up your profile as soon as you create the profile.
Yes,
As soon as you create it.
yeah.
Like I would actually delete. I'd look at the prompts and come up with prompts before you delete. If you have a Bumble,
Yeah.
delete it right after you come up with things for your profile. Before you create one, have some professional photos, like some things that actually look, that look like they're decent photographs, and especially if they're good on a good photography camera, that would be nice.
Mm-hmm.
And basically make yourself look presentable and make yourself look like you care about your profile.
Can I give a shout out to my friend Sarah for doing my profile for me?
Oh, Sarah. Thank you, Sarah. Yeah. Which one did she do? Oh, is it the ones like where you're on the peak of the cliff?
Oh no, not the pictures. The she helped.
Oh,
Well,
your
she helped me
profile.
pick the pictures. That was in Ireland, but
she
she
helped you come
also
up with
helped me. She's a writer, so she helped me come up with prompts
Oh.
and stuff
Oh, that's nice.
because I was too scared to.
Oh. Oh, good.
Yeah.
It really evoked your personality and whatnot. And,
Yeah.
And, yeah, no, dude, it's, like, if you're a guy, go on there, like, as soon as you create the profile and you create it right, and you be genuine,
Yeah.
be yourself.
Yeah, the
like,
genuine pieces.
like I made sure that, like, on my profile was very much, me,
Right.
and was honest about the future. And it's like, if you're, I think women especially on online dating, they want to find a guy who has goals and whatnot,
Yes.
and like who's genuine about it and like cares.
Right.
And if you find that about yourself, and not even don't try to be someone you're not. Just if there's things about you that are that way, then document that in your
Yeah.
profile. And then, the the first person you find who I'm like, this person seems special, and it's really subjective. It's hard to tell sometimes.
is,
You
yeah.
think you found that person, you might not have. Really focus on one person at a time.
Right.
For whatever reason, I find this true of either dating, I find this true of like filmmaking, I find this true of life. When your intentions are better, the better your intentions are, the better things will come to you for some reason.
Sorry.
No, you're good. Like if I have positive intentions with dating,
Right.
I'm gonna have a really good match coming my way.
Yeah.
And I feel like that happened for us. And if I have good intentions with filmmaking, it's like if I start helping people out with projects, even if it's low pay, suddenly I start getting all these gigs. And what's even funnier is whatever kind of gig I do that for, more of that gig comes my way. Like for some reason, I never told anybody I started doing colorist stuff for people, but all of a sudden I get all this colorist work, and I'm like, all right, kind of hate it, but like I like DPing stuff
Yes.
more. But okay. And yeah, it's just it's really what you put out is what comes your way.
Right.
And look at those birds going over the water.
I know.
Oh my
That's
gosh.
what made me smile.
Oh man. My hair's all messed up, whatever.
It's okay.
But yeah, no, I noticed that about you immediately. I was like, huh, she's very much she's a very genuine person. And like you were so interested in like you, and that's the thing is like you have to find somebody who's interested in you.
Yeah.
And where you don't even feel like you're being anyone.
Yeah.
And then anytime I found that in the past,
Yeah.
I wasn't interested enough in myself. I didn't accept myself, and so I just
Right.
turned someone away.
Right.
Like, there's been a number of people like that,
Yeah.
and it's crazy. And it's so that became a part of my feature. Is I was writing about that, like the men in my feature that I'm doing. It's like one of them either. And this is based on me. It's like met a chick, started talking to her. This actually happened a few times. I just kept repeating this pattern. Found that like person where it's like immediately from the get-go of messaging, it's like this person really stands out.
Right.
And the fear was I'm going to fall for this person.
It was the fear.
It was a fear, and it's more of like I wanted to create some kind of bar that I had to reach to tell myself that person was right for me.
Okay.
In a sense of like, I created the bar of like, oh, they have to be a filmmaker who I consider on my level. And at one point I did have a crush on somebody who was like that, but I've since learned that I don't think they are on my level, and they're not, they're really not a good person to work with.
Yeah.
It's just, and not only that, it's just they weren't interested.
Right.
I wasn't even, and I just didn't have any game back then either. It's just, but
it takes time.
yeah, dude, it's I find like I would set these bars, but really what I started doing was trying to find someone who was difficult or a challenge. I wanted to challenge myself. I was, remember when we came here, we watched Good Will Hunting.
Yep.
And she mentioned, or Robin Williams' character mentions, find someone who challenges you. Does she challenge you?
Yeah.
And I interpreted that, and that's literally my profile.
I don't remember that.
I think if I'm looking for someone who challenges me, tell me which movie that's from.
I do remember that. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what it's from.
Yeah.
But I always interpret it as it's a challenge.
Right.
She's challenging. And I didn't know that. I think it was subconscious.
Mhm.
It was like right in front of my nose, and I didn't know. And,
Yeah.
And then I read my feature script to someone who I consider very, very much a mentor, and somebody who's very like spiritual and has much more life experience than me, who's, been through Hollywood and into back to like deep Catholicism and very much
Yes.
like really close to God, and they basically told me, and they've always told me things that would stick with me for years. They told me after reading the script, like, this guy tore it apart. Granted, I'm not changing it.
Good. It's perfect.
But I like it. Yeah, we sat on a beach in the Poconos
Yeah.
and read it.
Always the beach.
Oh yeah, the beaches, the beaches. I read it to him, and he's like, "All right, this guy, he looks to women to find meaning.
Mm.
But finding meaning in women, for a man to find meaning in a woman, is like going to the hardware store for oranges."
I haven't heard this.
Yeah, you've heard this.
I haven't heard the oranges part.
Yeah, going to the hardware store for oranges. That's going to be a line in my feature, by the way. And yeah, it's like, or apples, or
Yeah,
that's why. Or
yeah,
it was,
some
he
sort
said
of
he said
fruit.
oranges.
Yeah.
I tried to. I think I was going to change it to apples so I could.
Use
Who
it.
cares? I like oranges. I think oranges is funny.
Yes.
And dude, I realized at that moment, I don't know what it was. He also gave me a blessed rosary, and I was like, I drove home, and the photo, my background
Yep.
photo, I for the first time in a long time, I took a photo, and I used it as my new background. I never changed my background photo.
Mhm.
It's of this road I was driving down. I've driven down so many times, but it's like, it's basically this road with a really dark cloud, and the sun is on the other side of the cloud,
Mm.
and they probably don't see people doing podcasts on the beach very often.
That was great. Did they wave to you?
Yeah. Basically, oh no, I messed up my camera. Hold on. What was it? They sorry, I'm fixing my camera. Yeah, I'm fine. I'm being OCD. Yeah, what was it? I was saying that, yeah, my hardware
Yeah.
stuff oranges, and I realized at that moment I always look for people who are challenging, not somebody who challenges me.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah. I'm talking way too much.
No, you're not. I love it.
But yeah, dude, it's like, and then I found that talking to you. I was just like somebody who challenged me, and I'm like,
How do I challenge you? I'm curious.
or no, I don't know much. Maybe not a challenge, but like you are somebody who I feel accountable to,
Okay, that's challenging.
and somebody who not challenges, but you help me. You help me get better.
That's sweet.
And here's the thing. This is actually the thing. Is like I feel like a lot of like taking advice from movies is kind of a bad idea sometimes, because
Yeah.
the writers, that was written by Ben and Ben Affleck and Matt Damon
Yeah.
when they were like 20 or something.
Right.
So why would I? Well, you don't need to find somebody who challenges you.
But I think like wanting to be a better person,
That's it.
that is like a challenge. That
Yeah.
is like a way that like yeah. No, I think that makes sense.
Yeah. It's very much like I'm lucky where I'm with somebody who's literally trying to become a therapist.
Yes.
I think we should turn the topic back to you.
No.
I want-
It's fine.
No, I want.
No, I'm
We're here with Emma Wilson, not Thomas Crawford and Thomas. No, I'm busting your balls. Sorry.
I know you are.
I'm just fixing your camera. So what got you started being a therapist?
Oh, good question. How far back do you want to go?
As far as you want.
I actually started going to therapy in middle school because I was struggling with test anxiety, and I thought it was the stupidest thing ever. But I then developed chronic pain. And that really, right as I was going into high school, and that really messed with me mentally. I got, on top of being a very anxious person, I got really depressed and really frustrated because I lost function and couldn't do things. And so I started regularly going to therapy at that point. And what was I, like 13? And I thought that I was going to be an occupational therapist because of all the OT I had, and I loved it. And then when I was, I guess in 2019, I was officially diagnosed with OCD. No,
okay?
it's fine. I just didn't expect it.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Anything you don't want going in this, you don't.
No, I know. No, I don't mind talking about it and sharing it. It's just like I didn't expect it to hit me.
Yeah.
But
Why do you
again,
why do you think it's affecting you so much?
I think it's because I feel safe. It's like I can actually like feel what I was feeling back then. Like I have compassion for myself when I was younger.
I'm proud of you.
Thank you. That makes me cry too. There
Oh.
it goes. Okay, where was I?
Yeah, diagnosed with OCD.
Yeah, in 2019, my anxiety got so bad that my doctor recommended that I go to a partial hospitalization program, which means that I spent all day in this building getting treated for OCD. And I had been told, like, yeah, like that behavior's OCD, and like, but I wasn't like officially diagnosed. And I had onset at age 3. So it had been, I don't remember how old I was, but it had been quite a few years, that most of my life, that I wasn't diagnosed, which is really common for OCD. And there I had a therapist that literally changed my life. And I got better, and then I got worse really quickly and had to go to residential treatment. And the average stay there, just to give like context, is about 2 months. And that's like 6 to 8 weeks is how long they tell you. And I was there for 7 months. And that was the first step of treatment. I couldn't leave a building or go outside. And that was weird. I don't even know how to describe it. So I was really stuck. And
Why weren't you allowed to go outside the building?
I was allowed to. You were allowed to go out. You were allowed to walk the woods, go to the lake. But because of my OCD was telling me that I couldn't go outside, that going outside was bad, and that something was going to happen. And I couldn't ride in a car. And just, those were the two biggest. And I'd spend hours washing my hands, which is like a typical OCD, what people think typical OCD is. But like my hands were raw and bleeding and bright red all the time. And it was, what word am I looking for? I don't know. It honestly was terrifying. And I spent holidays there, and I'm getting off track, but
No, you're fine.
There I had another therapist who really impacted my life too. And I was able to then, when I stepped down to treatment, I went back to partial hospitalization, and I had the same therapist I had the first time. And in total, my treatment was like just under 2 years that I spent in treatment for that like time period. And while I was there, I obviously wasn't in school, but I knew I wanted to go back. I had finished 2 years of OT school, but I wanted to go back to school. And I decided that I wanted to switch my major to psychology because I wanted, here I go again, I wanted to be someone, I wanted to be what am I trying to say?
You wanted to be the
person that Nicole was to me. And I wanted to give back because it's so misunderstood, and I wanted to give back to the community and help other people. And I didn't tell anyone for years that I wanted to do psychology. I was embarrassed and thought people would say that I couldn't do it because of all my mental health issues and like everything I had experienced. And I have the best outpatient therapist who I love. And she, again, is someone who really impacted me and still does. And I remember I couldn't even say it. Like, I couldn't even tell her, but I like wrote it and texted it to her. And she, of course, wanted to talk about it, and I didn't. But like, we worked through like, why are you scared? And I was scared that people would be like, because of everything you've been through, like, there's no way you can help other people. And that was like terrifying to think.
Yeah, I think that's like the complete wrong approach, because it's kind of like you are the perfect person to do it because you know how much it can impact someone. You know what's important about what impacted you. Right. And you, because of that, can know how to have more of an impact on someone else because of, those experiences.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. And I had many therapists self-disclose to me, like, some of their experiences. So I knew that, like, in the mental health field, there were a lot of people who struggled with mental health, or with their mental health. And I knew that as a fact. And I don't know why I let it get to me. But it wasn't for years that...
It's poop cake thoughts.
It's poop cake thoughts. We'll
explain that later, but we're not going to...
We can't give away the secret.
We can't reveal the secret of that. It's intrusive thoughts, basically.
It's intrusive thoughts, yes, is all it is. Yeah, so it was years... Whoa, sorry.
What happened?
The bag, like... It was just a noise. It was the wind. Sorry. But anyway, it was years before I took any steps. And it wasn't until like 6 months ago that I started school again and have been doing psychology and loving it more than I even imagined. And yeah. That's a long answer to your question.
So what's the road look like for you with that?
I take one class at a time, and they're 8 weeks, but I have about a year left of undergraduate. And then I have this dream of getting my PhD, but that's like another 6 years, so it's a while.
The Boston Marathon. You're gonna
get
the
Boston
Marathon.
Yeah. Yes. I have, about 6 years, but I can work while getting that, which is helpful. Like, I'll still be able to have some income to pay for school. But yeah, that's my dream. If not, I can get my master's in 2 years and be done and working, but I would love to get my PhD.
So when it comes to OCD, what is that like for someone to have it?
Good question. It's life-changing in a good way and a bad way. It's something that can deteriorate quickly. it's extremely misunderstood, which is extremely isolating. But for me and the severity, I guess I can speak from my experience the best, and also from people I know, but for me it was debilitating.
Yeah. Sorry.
No, you're
I'm
good.
trying to fix my feet are getting so cold.
Yeah, my feet are cold too.
Yeah.
Like another example, before I left, I couldn't sit on the couch, but I couldn't sit on the floor. So I had blankets laid out on the floor, and that's the only place I could sit. And like, it makes no sense. It's not logical. That's OCD. Is like, it's not logical. And you know that. Like, you can tell it's not logical. But I'm trying to think if there's anything else that, like,
Well,
to describe it.
like I didn't know that. I'm pretty sure since meeting you and getting to know you, I'm like, oh, that's what that explains why I do this.
Yeah.
Like I do this all the it's really bad to a point where like
Yeah.
I'll have to check things like whenever
Right.
whenever I park like my car,
Yes.
I do have to like jiggle the park thing to make
Yeah.
sure I actually put it in park. I have to like make sure that, and it like it's gotten worse over the years, like
Yeah.
where I have to like check things and recheck
Yes.
things, and
That's common too, for it to get
Yeah.
worse.
and it's like it's I guess the more stressed I get from work and more I go through,
Yeah.
that's becomes the case. But it's also been a blessing for my work, which is I will do like 15 to 50 drafts of something
Right. Yeah.
and like really perfect it, and so that's good as an artist. But yeah,
Is it ever perfect? That's something
Well,
I've learned too. Or is it
when I read-
to your standard?
well, I'm reading the script to you. Does it
Yeah.
flow though? It flows, right?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Oh, there's no denying that.
Oh, I want it to feel butter smooth, you know?
Yeah. Does it have to be just right?
Yes.
Do
Yeah.
you know that's a type of OCD?
Yeah.
Sorry, you don't have to include this, but
yeah.
I'm just.
Yeah. No, you can.
There are different forms of OCD that present in different ways, and I also have just right with cars and school, and I used to do papers over and over and over again until it was perfect.
Yeah.
But their just right is literally a type of like a classification of OCD where like it's just a feeling you
I'm
get.
grateful for it though, for my work.
Yeah, yeah.
Because frankly, like I feel like that allows my work. I mean, it creates a bar that I have to aim for.
Right.
Now, a lot of people I know, writers, don't even rewrite, give it to a second draft. You
Oh,
know?
really?
But like, I think it's gotten me to a point where yes, I can rewrite the hell out of something, but like if I didn't rewrite that mic
Yeah.
script,
That's true.
it wouldn't have been what it is.
Yeah.
And plus,
Yeah. Well, it's not bad to rewrite things. It's just,
when you like rewrite something a bunch, you're taking it more seriously, and then
Yeah.
that permeates the rest of the process of filmmaking.
Yeah.
So if I really, focus on reworking that, so it's a blessing, but it's a curse. It's
Yes,
a blessing
exactly.
for filmmaking, because like I mean, for me, my favorite filmmaker is Nolan.
Mhm.
You watch his films, I'm like, that's just right, and I love it. And you know what? There's a reason why millions of people love his movies.
Yeah.
And I think he does just care about that work so much to get it just right. And,
It's an art.
yeah. So but I'm not as bad as Da Vinci. Da Vinci would spend his entire life on a painting. He'd never finish it.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
what's funny is like maybe that's the thing with Da Vinci is like he was on his deathbed
Right.
apologizing to God that he could never find perfection in his
Yeah.
work.
Yeah.
And I don't want to be that. And also he never, like in my script that mentions this, is like he basically he would dig up cadavers and do anatomical drawings, the most advanced anatomical drawings the world had ever seen
Mm-hmm.
at that time. And basically it would, if he released any of those, the medical field, there's studies that the medical field would be 500 years ahead of where it is now.
Yeah.
And So, I wouldn't want to be the person who doesn't finish things. I do finish things,
Yeah.
but I finish things after I've suffered.
Right. Yeah.
I feel that
suffered.
I have to suffer to some
Yes.
degree to know that what I'm making is worth
Right.
someone else's effort. But that's for my written stuff.
It's recording.
Lens.
Oh.
I feel like the lens is crooked, but whatever. It's whatever.
Okay.
See, OCD. And I mean, I hope I'm not like making jokes of it where
No.
it's like.
No, you're not.
I do think it is legitimately like a thing, but it's a tool for me.
Yes. Yeah.
I use it as a tool that I have to keep reworking it. So I wouldn't even want medicine or anything
Mhm.
for it. I wouldn't want to do. I don't know if there is.
What about like for? Well, you can be on medication, but medication isn't how you treat it.
Yeah.
I'd love to get into how you treat it at some point.
Yeah.
But what about like things like being able to like leave the house without checking anything, or like that sort of thing? Maybe not your writing, but like
I feel
or-
like that's something that I can just brute force figure out
Yeah.
through discipline. Is just like that's worth it. If that's the trade off, is I have to check something a million times.
yeah,
And I have a relationship with that, with checking things. I'd say it's worth it because like
it's worth to check.
yeah, it's worth checking just so that like because then I don't leave the grate in front of. I remember to leave something in front of the fireplace.
Yes.
Remember the movie we're watching. We're watching Manchester by the Sea while we're by the sea talking about things.
Yes.
That we'll get to that.
Yeah. Yeah.
That'll be something we get to because we watched that movie and last
Yeah.
night and
Yeah.
we got words.
We've got
Um,
words. Like I just wonder if like. Sorry,
No,
I
about
shouldn't be
OCD.
asking questions.
No, you're good. No, this is what we do. This is part of it.
I wonder if what you experience and like okay, I asked because it's like I never thought that like it could get better, but also I never thought that like why would I want it to get better? Like
Yeah.
I'm an A student. I like am an athlete who like can push myself and like but then having treatment and like being forced to do it because there were most of that time I didn't want to. Like I was telling you the other day, like, are you okay? You look like you're freezing.
I'm okay.
Okay, your face is all red.
No, we got to get this we
Okay,
gotta do a podcast.
we'll do it. We'll do it.
We're gonna get through this. We're gonna do an hour
Okay.
or 2 hours or 3 hours. I don't know. We'll
Okay,
figure it out. We'll see
it
how
will
we
get
feel.
warmer as the time goes on.
It'll get warmer.
But I found that I was telling you, like, my brain is like free to think
Yeah.
about things, and I can do better than I thought I could before, that I was doing before. And it's like, oh, I don't have to worry about that. Like, that's a relief.
Yeah,
So I just like wonder if you'd be able to find that to like,
you might be right. But
yeah,
the thing is, like, I stopped. Like, I used to take medicine for my ADHD.
yeah.
You have ADHD, right?
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
I'm on medication for it, but
Yeah.
like,
I used to take medication all my life for it, but I found that it was actually inhibiting me from writing. Like, I'd rather my brain just be at its natural state.
mhm.
I prefer that because, like, for me to this just goes to show like how much I care about what I do over
Exactly.
myself.
Yeah.
It's not necessarily a good thing, but it's like I care about that I have ADHD so that I am easily distracted and it takes a lot for something to get my attention. So if I'm writing about something,
Right.
I'm only going to be writing about something that is going to keep my attention.
Yeah.
And so the ADHD gives me an advantage. It also gives me an advantage of being able to, juggle multiple things at once.
Right.
And I figured out finally how to write things that actually humors my ADHD,
Mhm.
where it's like non-linear, it jumps around.
Yeah.
A lot of things are going on. I think OCD is the same. It's like if I have OCD, it just helps me, and it's a tool
hmm
at the end of the day for me. I think if my ADHD and my OCD was getting to a point where it was actually affecting my life and affecting my ability to work, then
Okay.
then I would seek to treat myself. But I'm not there. I don't think I'm close to that point. Although I do find myself joking that I'm losing my mind, or
that's OCD for you.
I think I'm doing fine. But
I said that's OCD for you.
yeah. But
You have to find humor in it.
It's all good.
Yeah.
It's all good in the hood. Yeah, I think I'm good with it.
Yeah.
I think but you want one thing that we talked about, and I want you to tell the story about where this comes from. You gave me really good advice at one point. Sitting in the uncertainty.
Yes.
Tell me that story.
Embrace the uncertainty, my favorite phrase. I learned that from treatment. There are quite a few phrases that are used in OCD treatment to help you. I don't know what story I explained to you, so this might be a new one for you too. But embracing the uncertainty means that you are able to sit in the anxiety, basically. Right? Is that like that you challenge yourself enough to do something that is hard and scares you, and you don't know the outcome, but you're able to literally just sit with that anxiety, sit with that uncertainty. And that is a huge part of OCD treatment. Another one, I don't think I've shared this one with you, but is maybe, maybe not. And you have the thoughts that, I'm trying to think of like an example. So like I had the thought that if I went outside, something bad would happen to me. Like that if I went outside, my trauma would happen again, is really what it came down to.
Yeah.
And so maybe not would be thinking or sitting with the uncertainty. Sorry. Got distracted.
No, you're good.
Sitting with the uncertainty means in that situation that I would stand in like a doorway and have to sit with those thoughts of, well, maybe my trauma will happen again. But even if that does, like, it's okay. That like, you learn that any outcome is okay. Because you, through exposure, which is the treatment for OCD, or the gold standard treatment for OCD, you do it over and over and over again. And as you do it, that uncertainty lessens. And you can get to a point where it's like, okay, I need to sit with this uncertainty. I need to sit with this feeling of anxiety. And you learn that like you can handle anything that comes your way.
Exposure treatment is the way to deal with
exposure response prevention is what it's called. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. So it's literally simply like doing the things you're afraid of and learning that like your thoughts won't come true.
Yeah.
And if they do, it's okay.
When you so it's that is like regular exposure treatment where you're kind of exposing yourself to whatever. Because I've heard about how if you voluntarily expose yourself to stressful scenarios or painful scenarios, if it's voluntary, meaning you have the control of it, you actually get better at dealing with that stress. And that's what that's what I love about filmmaking is like, I think over the years it's shaped me as a person because it's forced me into voluntarily into a lot of stressful situations.
situations that make you feel uncomfortable.
very terrible ones,
Yeah.
or very like where, heck, recently we were doing Phantom Friend,
Yeah.
which is basically, I spent 50 drafts perfecting that
Right.
film, that script, and so
That had a lot of meaning. Sorry.
yeah. No, you go. You go. What was it?
No, that had a lot of meaning to you too.
Yeah, it was something very meaningful to me.
Yeah.
A lot of work went into prepping and getting to that point of filming
Yes.
it. And so there I was, and then I was grieving the loss of a friend
Exactly.
even more when I
Yes.
started shooting that. And I'm also directing, acting, DPing. I have 12 people who I'm responsible for, that I have to lead through that project. And that was the most stressful life situation I've ever been in so far. And so, but I knew that was just enough of a dose of stress and challenges and uncertainty that, if I face it, I'm going to learn to be able to face even more in the future.
Right.
And actually from it, like that's where I feel right now, where I'm
Yeah.
like this project, this sci-fi trilogy that I always wanted to make. I'm like, after I do the current feature, that might be next.
Yeah.
And that would be something that I think would be very important for me to do next.
Yeah. Were you
Yeah.
sorry.
Yeah.
I'm genuinely curious, like, were you afraid beforehand to even like approach that trilogy
Well,
to some degree?
I worked on this the original material that it was supposed to be. It was supposed to be just a film,
Right.
but it became so ambitious, and the world just kept evolving in my mind. I wrote a 400-page manuscript that was
Wow.
like, I'm thinking, oh, this could be a book or something,
Yeah.
and then I'll turn it into a movie or whatever. And I remember reading that to some people, having spent years on it,
Right.
and coming to the reality that it just wasn't good.
Yeah.
And so after that, I'm like, all right, I'm just gonna can this for now, or forever. I don't care. I need to work on something new. I need to work on a short film to make that good. And that's how
Right.
Feeding the Fire came about.
Right.
Actually, something else was before that, but that one sucked. But Feeding the Fire was like the first legitimate film I'd made in years, and I did that one. And the process of doing that, I ran into somebody who convinced me to change everything.
Yeah.
But it was because I was open.
Right.
I was like, I went from being in a vacuum and making something horrible because I was in a vacuum, to then meeting someone in the process of doing the right project. I met people who wanted me to change the whole thing, and
Yeah.
one of them convinced me for
Yeah.
a period of time, but then I went back to my original vision. That was very important.
Yeah.
Fuck that guy for doing that to me.
Exactly.
Like,
Exactly. Thank you.
and it really shows me. It's like, like watching, like, was it Manchester by the Sea
Yeah.
yesterday? It's like, there's things I appreciate now. I
Right.
hated that movie when I first saw it.
Right.
I kind of don't like it still,
Yeah.
because the ending is,
Not an ending.
it wasn't an ending, I don't think. Like, there was no emotional resolution for me.
No.
And I think that's your job as a storyteller.
Right.
You need to have that. Like, that's people don't sign up to watch your movie and go on your journey for you to have a non-ending.
Right.
And that's just you betraying your responsibility as a storyteller.
Yeah.
Um,
I also think watching that movie, there were multiple times where I was watching it and like seeing the work you've done and like what you've created. I was like, what you do is so much better than this. I literally thought that multiple times. Like,
here we are shitting on a movie.
Oops.
Look, Kenneth Lonergan. All right, if you're watching, look, I wanted to like your movie. My relationship to it was back in, what was it, 2016 it came out.
Yeah.
2017 I watched it. I'm not sure when. My friend pitched it to me as like, oh, this is a film that made me cry.
Right.
And he probably did. because I realized he probably has a lot of stuff that's unresolved that he
Right.
just doesn't even know how to face, and this film is about him.
Right.
I mean, you saw. I don't want to go into that. But he got banned from the school reunion. Whatever. I'll keep that in. I don't give a shit.
You didn't say anything bad.
Yeah, I didn't say anything bad. But it's like I wanted that movie to affect me. I watched it with my mom actually when I watched it for the first time. And even my mom, like, we looked at each other, and you and I looked at each other. When we were watching, I was like, "Oh, maybe I was wrong. Maybe me and my mom were wrong." No,
No.
we both looked at each other like, "It's over. That was it." Like, it felt like a first act.
Yeah.
Turned into a full film.
Right.
But the difference was, it wasn't a first act. It was actually like almost a first act, but then the character doesn't do the thing. He doesn't go on the adventure.
I feel like it just ends. Like there's no, but with no resolution.
I would have been happier if, and this is spoilers, but it's like I would have been happier if he at least chose to take on his freaking nephew.
Right.
That's literally what the story was about. That was his God-given responsibility.
Right.
Everything pointed towards that.
Right.
Everything pointed towards that being the perfect ending. Like, what were you thinking? Not having him do that.
Yes.
Oh, okay. He's an avoider, and we got to stick to the character. Fuck you. Like, dude. Like, so yeah, the whole movie is about him having to be drawn out back to the town where something horrible happened to him. Tragedy struck him without going into it.
Sorry.
No, you're good.
I hit the.
Oh, no, you're good.
Sorry.
Tragedy struck him years ago, and he can't really live there anymore, he feels like, but that would have been the perfect, like, exposure therapy for him to choose to, like, go back and live at that town again and start anew and and you know, watch over his nephew.
Right.
Instead, he just passes it off to his, like, this other guy.
Yeah.
What were you? No.
He doesn't. Yeah.
I actually forgot that that's how it ended, and I'm, like, actually pissed off that I'm, like
yes. Can we pause for a second?
Yeah.
Can I move my foot again?
Move
my foot back.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. I just didn't want to hit the camera. So.
Oh, you're good.
Okay. I thought it would keep me warmer, but it doesn't. Okay.
What time
Sorry.
is it? It is 59.
8:13.
It was 60. Oh, 60.
Oh. Sorry.
No,
Sorry.
you're good. I'm on a pod. 60. How much longer do you think you can do this?
As long as you want.
Let's do it.
I'm in it.
Let's do it. I'm like, part of me has to pee, but I'm like,
well, because you're so cold.
it's whatever. No, I gotta.
I can't feel my feet, but.
All right, we're back.
We're back.
I can't feel our feet. Okay, so.
Yeah, he just doesn't take the responsibility.
Yeah. And you know what? Like, compare that to, like, the feature I read.
Yeah.
Like, how would you say it compares?
That's where I was thinking, like, yours is so much better.
Oh,
and you have the skills to, like, film, act, write. Like, you can do it all, and you create something that, like, I think is so much more meaningful and, like, heartfelt and emotional, and you can connect with it better, and it has an ending.
Yeah.
That is. Sorry, I keep going back to that.
Yeah, like, it's like, look, Kenneth, if you're watching, look. Really?
Part 2, maybe?
Really?
Yeah.
Like, you're not gonna. No, he doesn't get a part 2 from me. I'm not gonna watch part 2. You had part 1, and you could have made it happen in the first or second act.
Right.
Instead, you didn't even get it in the third act. What were you thinking? I don't know.
Stupid question.
Like, here's the thing. Here's where I would have defended him.
Yeah.
My feature, I've gotten similar feedback.
Right.
That I'm giving to Manchester by the Sea. because I wrote a script about a guy who's going through a journey, but it's an emotional journey.
Right.
He goes on an emotional adventure.
Right.
It's not a physical one.
Right.
Although there are some physical aspects to it. You know, he starts therapy, he starts jiu-jitsu, he starts all sorts of stuff. He returns to screenwriting, whatever. Starts a relationship, you know, while processing the old one, you know.
Right.
He's basically grieving.
Yeah.
That's the journey, that's the adventure. But he accepts that adventure in the beginning.
Right.
And I'm told that, the character doesn't do anything until the end. Well, why is it that it speaks to all my experiences in the last
Right.
2 years
Right.
of actual growth that I've gone through? And I know this because, like, people who've known me all their life are like, you seem different, Tom.
Yeah.
And even the person who said those things about the character not doing anything said that sounds like you're on a really good journey. So
Oh.
it's like there are some discrepancies in
Yeah.
that. So I'm not like bashing the person, but it's like that I've noticed, you know, to take people's advice with a grain of salt, because even the same person could give you harsh advice about what you write.
Right.
And still say things that actually validates what you're doing, but they don't even realize it.
Right.
It's insane.
Yeah.
But yeah, dude. So written a character film about a character going through an emotional journey, learned how to do that. Did a short film about a guy going through an emotional journey, dealing with the loss of his friend. So I say we have that topic. We also have New Year's resolutions. Which one do you want to do?
I'm good with either.
Let's start with Phantom Friend.
Okay.
What was your experience with that?
Life-changing is how I can sum it up. It leaves me speechless.
Keep going.
Are
Sorry.
you sure you want to do this? Or do you want to finish it back at the place?
I say we keep going as long as we can, and
Okay.
then we'll finish it back at the place.
Okay.
Do you think they'll have an issue with that?
Oh. No, I think even in the Airbnb thing, it said you can, like, professional photography is allowed.
Really?
Yeah.
It says it on the thing?
I'm pretty sure. We can check in the car. But
Yeah.
even if we, like, do it at the beach at Ocean City, like, we give ourselves a break to, like, warm up, and then, like, even if we have to do that.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Go as long as we can.
We'll keep going, yeah.
Sorry. You just...
Oh, yeah, no, I'm just cold.
I was worried about you.
It's more that I have to pee eventually, but
Okay.
I want to leave the equipment.
Yeah.
Where's there a place to pee?
No trace.
Whatever.
Sorry. Bad
No,
joke.
it's all good. Didn't really think this through, having
Yes.
to pee and doing this.
Yes.
That's whatever. We're all good.
You let me know when you're done.
Yeah.
Phantom Friends.
We go through
Sorry.
Phantom Friend, and then New Year
Yeah. I'm excited for that.
plans. And what we've learned from last year.
Yes.
Then I say we can go back and get
Okay.
warm and
Okay.
continue this.
Okay, that sounds good. Phantom Friends was... I don't even know. It literally leaves me speechless every time I think about it. And I was honored to be there. So
Oh.
thank you. And to see you work was, again, life-changing. There was... I saw your passion in a way that I never thought someone could be that passionate about something. And the people there were all passionate about it. And I think there was like a special bond formed during that time. Plus the incredible film you created on top of it. I don't even know how to describe it.
It was I mean, it's everything you want to be doing as an
Right.
artist.
Right.
Because you're dealing with something that is as important as you can imagine.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, people on the board went through such a journey.
Yeah.
It's crazy that Damon,
Yeah.
I met him, he didn't know,
Yeah.
you know. Sorry, it's just so cold.
No, it's okay.
Ugh. Yeah, I think
It was so powerful.
oh, by the way, that prank. I'm watching the
That
behind the
was
scenes
great.
footage. Okay, so yeah, he pranks me. I don't even know if you want to go into that.
Start telling the story.
Yeah, so he
And I'll
wanted
add
to so all right, Damon on day 4. Look at you, Damon. Damon on day 4 decided, or before the film, he's like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna fuck with something.
Yeah.
I've never worked with him
I
before.
remember you telling me.
The only reason Damon was on the film was because I met him at Mike's wake,
Yeah.
and I delivered a script to Mike's family, and then felt like, am I supposed to leave? What am I supposed to do here? I'm like, all right, somebody here I have to meet. Mike would want me to network, so I met Damon, who's the first person, because I was looking for Mike's podcast person. That was Damon. Started meeting, talking to Damon. Before I even told Damon about the script I wrote, which was exactly what Damon's dream was, he told me about his dream, and
That's
that
so
was
wild.
surreal. And his dream was actually the reason why I decided I'm not just going to embody Jesus Christ's values, I'm going to also believe in him, literally.
Yeah.
I was driving home, and we talked about sunlight.
Yeah.
Sunlight being this like beautiful thing as we're sitting by the sun. There's something about sun or just light that it's very it really does like come and become very noticeable to you when you're doing the right thing or something spiritual is happening, or not spiritual is happening, but like you're moving in the right direction. That's I hate when people say something spiritual is happening. No, you're either doing the right thing and moving the right direction in life
Right.
and in the universe, or you're not.
Right.
And it's not like it's not stuff happening to you. Life happens through you.
Yes. I love that.
And I think that was something I heard from one of the people on the Dune film. My sand. My New Jersey speech. My Dune. Anyway. My drones. Nah, I was driving to the wake, and I'm like, every weird song that came on was like, it was like, Kill Your Heroes by AWOL Nation. I'm going to my mentor's wake, and like all this weird stuff happened throughout the year up to that point. Ever since like him dying, and writing, like just wanting to start writing a script about him, and then, heck, I found a girlfriend this year. A lot of crazy stuff happened this year, and I drove home from that wake, and I had a plan. I'm gonna believe in Jesus Christ now, and I'm not gonna be avoiding it anymore. And it became part of my feature, and I'm like, oh, this is why I'm writing that feature.
Yeah.
It's for God.
Yeah.
It's for people like me to learn to trust God again.
Exactly.
To accept Jesus Christ. That's really what it comes down to, and
Yeah.
very subtly, but it was a real journey I went on. And so, all right, that happened. Crazy enough. And then I decided to cast Damon in the film.
Mhm.
He's never acted before, but he's going to be acting the film, processing the grief of a friend of ours.
Right.
He was closer to Mike than me. And that became like the biggest psychodrama of exposure therapy you could imagine.
Yeah.
And he's like, there are moments where he's going away to cry
Mm-hmm.
when no one's looking.
Right.
Because it's so much for him. And
Yeah.
I didn't know that. But day 4, we have everyone breaking down, talking about stuff, and having emotional conversations. It was no longer a film. It was a mission trip,
Yeah.
and that was the most special experience I've ever had with filmmaking. I'm like, if you know that this is what filmmaking can be, I want every film I do to be this special.
Yeah. It was so special.
And I think after that moment, it's like he was for the first time like he would never talk to people like that. He's opening up to 12 strangers on set who would become a family.
Yeah.
And like heck, we're getting group chats from everyone still at New Year's, you know, because it was that special for everyone. That never happens on film sets, I don't think. Because it's really special, especially not a short film.
Yeah.
And that's other people doing that. That's not me. It's like that's the other people leading the charge on that. And that motherfucker, he pranked me on day 4. I woke up and I'm like, is somebody in the room that's not Emma? I look over, I see her bun sticking up, and I'm like, all right. I go get a shower. I come out of the shower, and you're like, Tom, I got a text from Jose. You showed me the phone. And then I'm like, it says, oh, you know, like Damon, you crawled into bed naked with me or some shit. And I'm like, I remember waking up. I'm like, did Damon try to crawl into bed naked with Jose? Because he told me he was going to do that last night. Yeah. And I was like, no, you're not.
Yeah.
No, you're not. Don't do that. He told me he was going to fuck with somebody on the film shoot before the week started.
Right.
I'm like, dude, don't. Just don't. I'm taking a big chance working with you for the first time. Like,
don't do this to me.
So, yeah, I see that text on your phone. I go and it doesn't even occur to me, like, why did he text you and not me?
Yeah.
So I go talk to him. It looks like he's packing up, and I'm like, did Damon do this? Damon did this to you? I'm explaining it to him. He's like, oh, yeah, it's unacceptable. And then I go find Damon. I'm like, I tell him before I go find Damon, I'm like, look, he's just a skater. He's like, he does weird stuff, right?
Yeah.
And I'm like, and then I go downstairs. I'm looking for Damon. I find him. Everyone's hounding me with questions. And like, I start talking to him like, we almost lost Jose. What were you thinking? And then he's like, and then Jose comes up and he's like, hold on, stop. What are you doing? and I find 2 cameras on me, and like apparently it was all pranked, and several people were in on it. And like, you look at the behind the scenes footage. Your idea was
the text message.
Damon was like, I'll have Jose text you. I'm like, you're like, no, I'll just change your name to like Jose on my phone. Oh my gosh.
I felt so bad, but also, can I say, you handled it so well. One,
thank you.
When you thought it was real, you handled it really well. And when you found out it was a prank, you handled that so well. And also, I apologize greatly.
It's okay. I appreciate it. I forgive you.
I
forgive you. Yeah, that's the tough thing about doing outside podcasts in the cold.
It is 33 degrees.
Oh, shoot. 33 degrees
33.
Yeah, we'll get through this. And perhaps do another part back at the place. I say we just do it at the place. And
yeah, I do too. That's what I was thinking.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah.
It's
fine.
If they complain about it, what are they going to find about it? They wouldn't find out about it for years.
Right. And it's I can't say it. You know what I'm saying. It's marketing for them.
Yeah.
That's
no, it's not.
We're
not
I
going
know.
to mention. But basically, no, that's right. We're gonna hit the.
Yeah.
We're gonna get food. I like that idea.
Yeah.
Take a break. Get back to it later.
Yeah.
Well, let's get through this.
Then we don't have a time limit.
Yeah.
Time limit either.
Talking. When it comes to, what was I saying?
I'm trying to remember.
Just checking that it's still recording. Yeah, it's still going.
Look at how that sun. Look at that! How that sun is literally right in the middle.
Yeah, I love that.
How cool is that?
That's fucking awesome.
Okay, sorry. Go ahead.
I love that. good observation. Back to Phantom Friend the Prank. Yeah, so I have several cameras on me. I'm like, all right, what the heck's going on? And I realized I'm getting punked, and it was good. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I had no clue. I really thought that Jose was gonna quit. And I'm like, all right, damage control,
Yeah.
damage control, and don't try to like don't take it out on Damon, don't take it out on Jose, or don't get upset with like don't you know, just be cool with Jose, not take it out. No, I mean take it out on Damon. Don't you know, just try to cool down with Jose. He was so when Damon told me the night before he was thinking about doing it, it was because Jose told him don't try to crawl to bed naked with me because I might think you're my wife. I'm just thinking, all right, they're bros at this point.
Yes.
They've been hanging out all week. So Damon has a good gauge on whether he can get away with something. I trust Damon's not going to do something stupid. And so this whole thing, I'm like, fucking Damon. Like, I'm like, it's because he's a non-actor. I'm like, that's what I'm thinking. It's like he's not used to a certain level of professionalism. I'm like thinking, oh shit, I thought they were cool. like maybe he's like sick of Damon. I'm like, Jose's done with Damon. Like he's just hanging out to be nice.
Yes.
Because I'm like thinking, oh shit, I misread that so bad. But no, I was right. No, they are super cool. I'm like, that was just so funny.
It was.
And I basically like, I love how the sand's all coming towards us. It's so funny. That'll show up on camera. That's so cool. Going behind you. I have sand in my mouth.
I've been crunching.
Yeah, I've been crunching. So, yeah, he does that, and I'm pissed off about it. And basically, yeah, I told him. No, so I find out it's a prank, and then like, I also find out that I walked straight past Evans, who's dead on the floor. That was the initial prank that he was planning to pull.
Oh, and Damon was hiding underneath the bed with his legs sticking out, and you walked past
when
that
I walked
too.
out of the shower and heard the text message from you, he was literally under my bed with his legs sticking out. I didn't fucking notice. So it was so genius. It was so genius. Like everything, it just made me feel like a fool. Oh my gosh, that was so ridiculous. But it was, yeah. Honestly, I was really excited after it happened because I'm like, oh, okay, the film's not ending. And I was also thinking like, it was just a relief, and it was also like, wow, I've always wanted to get pranked that good. Thanks, Damon.
And everyone made sure it was filmed.
Yes. Oh, that was good too.
Yeah.
And I think it's so funny. Emma, the other Emma, was like, somebody was like filming her, hearing about what they were doing to me for the first time, and she's like, he's already so stressed from the shoot. Is that a good idea? It's so funny.
I have footage of that prank too. I should probably send to you one time.
Gosh. That's so funny. Yeah, I think she started filming too. I think so.
Yeah, a few people.
So, what more to talk about Phantom Friend, or should we move on to New Year's resolutions?
Whatever you want. Oh my gosh, it's so cold.
Yeah, let's you know, we could talk more about it at the place.
Yeah.
New Year's resolutions while we're at the beach.
While we're at the beach. Okay. Well, that means I have to get my phone out because I made a list. Sorry.
And then we'll end this part on this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe we do New Year's resolutions here, and then we do what we learned back at the place. Or do you want to do both here?
Yeah, do the New Year's resolutions here.
Yeah.
Or we'll do both if we can.
Okay.
Because I'm like thinking, what if we don't do it back at the place?
No, we will.
Okay. Yeah,
I want to keep going. Sorry, you've gotten me hooked.
Yeah, we'll do it. We'll do it back at the place. All right.
Okay. I hate resolutions, if I'm being honest. For many reasons, but this year I decided that I want to set goals, which I know sounds really similar, but it felt better to me, and it felt like they don't all have to be accomplished at once, which is what I feel like with resolutions. Do you want me to just list them?
Yeah, go for yeah, however you want to do it.
I'll give a little background but quickly to each one. My first goal, I have quite a few, so I apologize.
No, you're good.
My first goal is to cook once a week. I was texting you that over Christmas I was baking again, and how much how it was fun, and like I enjoyed it, and it was something I lost due to OCD. I haven't cooked 5-6 years, like actually cooked, and I still live at home, and I want to help my mom, so that's one goal I have, and to like explore food and stuff.
Same boat, living at home.
What?
I don't want
Living at home.
you feeling alone with that.
No, thank you.
I'm
I
the same
appreciate that. I appreciate you.
Love you.
I love you too.
Never gets old. Looking
No,
at that
it doesn't.
smile.
Your
You
smile.
say that.
My next goal is to do yoga 5 times a week. I feel like I want to get back into working out, but for different reasons than I used to. And
Yoga's really good.
I used to love yoga, and I haven't done it in a while because of my PIC line, but I feel like I can now.
Yeah.
So that's my goal, another goal. And then I want to walk Maisie 7 times a week. She hasn't gotten the physical activity that she deserves and loves. And my mom also kind of is forcing this one on me, but I will happily accept it. The next one is I want to I feel so stupid for this one,
No,
but
it's all good.
I want to take my medication as basically as prescribed. Specifically one, but I want to really get into a routine of like taking my vitamins, taking all my medicine, like just doing everything I can to better my health, so that I can do all these things. This one, I haven't told you this, but I've been excited to tell you this one.
Oh yeah.
I want to start writing a book. I don't know if it will ever go anywhere, but I want to do it for me. And like, even if it just becomes like something my family has, like that would be really cool to me. I really want to take back my power and share my story and give myself an outlet to work through things. And that's, I don't know, I think that would be really helpful. So I'm going to try to do that. I mean, I'm going to need your help holding me accountable, but
Oh. Is the title going to be Embracing Uncertainty?
yes, exactly.
Should that be the title of the podcast? Or Beachside Sunrise?
So, I don't know, we'll have to think
well,
on that.
I'd say Embracing Uncertainty.
I kind of love that.
That one's the one.
Yeah,
That's the one. It's decided right now.
Yeah. Okay.
Any more?
Yeah, 4 more. But quickly, I want to do junk journaling. It's just a way to journal and collage and do art and all things I love. And I'm going to do it with a friend too, which will be nice to do. I want to put 10 hours a week into working. I don't have a job, but I have an Etsy shop and try to do all the crafting, and again, it's an outlet, and I really need to get back into that and spend time for me too.
Yeah.
I want to continue working on school, and lastly, I want to do a craft fair, which is so cheesy, but you make good money at them, which is also sounds really selfish, but I want to do things that, like, I think ultimately it all comes back. No, Siri. It all comes back to me wanting to do things for myself and regain my what?
Little shell. Making
Oh,
noises, sorry.
That's
Keep
good.
going. Sorry.
I find myself so easily giving to others everything they need, and I want to learn to give myself what I need to. And that's what it all comes back to. So those are my goals. What are your goals?
Good question. I think learn how to balance my work and my life.
I
a
like
little bit
that.
Better.
Yeah.
Like I've been doing that better this year because
Yeah.
I met you, and if I didn't meet you, I wouldn't be,
Yeah.
and I'd be dead right now. Like from
Just working yourself.
dude working myself to death on
Yeah.
this short film.
Yeah.
If I didn't meet you and start like giving myself self-care,
Yeah.
I'd be a wreck.
Yeah.
And that film might not have went down the right way
Right.
if it weren't for you. I'm
That's
just saying. Like,
Well, you did that.
no, I love you.
I mean, I've taught you, but you did that.
With your help. Your
Yeah,
help. And you were
okay.
really... everything you did on that film, I really appreciate. Because you were basically running around, like Damon texted me like, yo, dude, your girl, you better not ever mistreat her. Because she's like running around, doing errands, making food for us, cooking, like doing all sorts of stuff. Like, dude, that's crazy. Dude, that's special. She's special. And so
You're sweet.
I take that to heart. And because if I did ever do anything to you, I'll end up like the sandwich.
From who? Damon or your mom?
No, the one with this hollow point in it. Beatrice woke up the next morning not knowing. She looked in the fridge, and then there's a Wawa's, like there's a 12-inch sandwich with a hollow point sticking through it, and it's all bloody up for the film. You also
That was
understand if you see
great.
the
Yes.
Friend film.
Yeah.
But the feature is something I want to work on. I want to keep working
Yeah.
on my relationship with you and moving things
Yes.
forward, and
Me too.
helping you feel being present with you.
I like that.
You know,
Can that be both of our goals?
yeah, living in the moment and
Yeah.
learning to be present is
Yeah.
something that matters a lot to me this year. Also,
Yeah.
getting closer to God.
Yeah.
Um,
Second that.
continuing to grow my podcast and get this going somewhere and see where this goes. And I want to find success with like YouTube and getting
Yeah.
that going. And if I can get some success on YouTube, heck, you know what? 1,000 or 10,000 subscribers would be nice.
I totally believe in you.
Hopefully we get there. I don't know. We'll see. We'll do a bunch of podcasts, or you know, I maybe a better goal is like, maybe if I could do 50 podcasts this year, that'd be nice.
Ooh, I like that. I like that. Yeah.
I'll see if I can.
Yeah.
Let's try.
This is number 1.
This year, yeah.
Yeah. That's what I mean.
Yeah.
This year, yeah.
If I could do 50 podcasts this year, or 52 for 1 and 1 a week, I don't know. That's a lot.
Yeah.
I'll see what
Yeah.
I can do. 30 to 50, I'd say.
Yeah.
Is nice. And yeah, the feature, if I can get a good ways shooting that, and heck, if we can get the short film submitted to Cannes,
That would be so
it'd
cool.
be really cool. And if we could also, if we can make what is it, the get the premiere going for,
Yeah.
I don't know if that'll be this year, maybe. I think we'd run the festivals a bit more.
Mhm.
Maybe do a behind the scenes documentary to be released or done with the premiere. Get that done this year, but
I can help you with the premiere.
What was that?
I can help you with the premiere
Oh,
if you need it.
oh, I appreciate that. Yeah, we'll work on that.
So cool.
So this is Thomas here with Emma Wilson. I think we're gonna either this could be the end, or this could be just the first end of the first
Okay.
part. And appreciate you, guys. Is there anything else? You think we should do anything else?
No, are those all your goals?
Yeah, I think that's everything I could think of. If I think of anything else, we'll continue this.
Okay,
and then,
perfect.
but yeah, so let's go get some eggs Benedict and French toast.
And some Pete.
Yeah. And,
Yeah.
I think that's everything for now.
Sounds
Appreciate you watching. We're gonna probably come back. We'll see. Love you.
Love you too.
And love the audience.
Yes.
Appreciate you watching. Love you. Love you, Emma.
Love you.
So I'm glad I met you. I'm incredibly grateful for you.
So thankful for you.
I'm proud of you, by the way.
Oh, can't even describe how proud of you I am.
Oh. All right, love you.
Love you. Bye. Okay.
That was fun so far, wasn't it?
This is really fun. Like, I really want to continue it.
Oh,
if
yeah,
you-
we'll
if
go.
you're okay with that.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, so we are back with Emma Wilson,
Mm-hmm.
my partner. We just got done at the beach and we did a beachside sunrise podcast.
Yep.
And we actually just tried to start recording this, and I'm being overly OCD as we're discussing OCD, trying to fix the lighting and the sound, and I'm just going to do what we were talking about, which is sit in the uncertainty. Yeah, just and we'll get to what that means, but or where that came from. We talked about a bit, but there was another story you told me about, you're hearing that in therapy, but I think we could start with that question, or we could start with the question we're planning to start with, which is, how did you come to the conclusion that I might have OCD? And I think you're right. I do
Yeah.
think you're right.
Yeah. Well, I noticed a lot of the same things that you were doing.
Mhm.
So that's what, and I know for me, that's OCD. It can be different for everyone. But I noticed we were at the grocery store and there were eggs that had been spilled and we didn't realize it was on the floor. And you were in your sandals and you had stepped in it. So then we got like Clorox wipes and other cleaning supplies. And you were in the parking lot cleaning it. And I remember, and what I would consider, or people would consider, like over cleaning it.
Mhm.
And I just remember being like, oh, I noticed that. Like, that's what I would do.
Yeah.
And have learned not to do, but and that's what my brain thinks. Which it's different for everyone. But yeah, that was the first one yeah.
Yeah, I think the that food store thing, yeah, well, it was so funny.
It was.
I was having what we call a poop cake thought.
Yes.
We haven't really explained that.
Yeah.
As I stepped in the eggs.
Wait, has you stepped in the eggs?
Right
or-
before.
Okay. This is interesting.
And I feel like a lot of weird things happen
Yeah.
when I have poop cake thoughts.
Yes.
Like when I was trying to tell you about my ideal partner
Right.
at one point, when we were driving home from
Yeah.
St. Jackie, and
Yeah.
I was like, how would I describe it? And I wasn't sure what I was going to say, but I'm like, whatever's coming out, I'm not sure if this is appropriate. I don't know if what if whatever comes out of my mouth isn't, how I describe Emma or whatever. It's like, but then as I'm trying to describe my perfect partner, sure as shit, a fucking shooting star comes down in the sky. And I've just been calling you a shooting star for weeks because I saw my first shooting star right before the film shoot.
Yeah.
It was like a good luck sign, and it was right.
Mhm.
And then I'm trying to describe my ideal partner, and I fucking see a shooting star when I'm talking about it to you, and I'm just like, I whatever I was going to say, I completely forget. I really to this day don't know what I was going to say, but I was it was going to be a poop cake thought.
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah.
I don't know what it was.
Mhm.
Or a poop cake thought, basically. Intrusive thought. Probably, a lot of OCD people have them. We're just people that have them in general, I
Yeah.
think.
Exactly. They're normal.
Needing to check if the camera's focused on us or not, like I'm doing right now. and we're back. and yeah, just overthinking things and or saying something that would keep you from having happiness.
Right.
You're with the partner who you should be with, and you're having self-defeating thoughts.
Yeah. Or something I think of, like, sometimes they can be so random as, like, well, like, what if I cook and, like, put poison in it?
Mm.
Like, while you're cooking. Like, and make no sense. And, like, everyone has them, like you were saying.
Yeah.
But,
She's saying that, and she cooked me cake for my birthday. So I'll find out. That's why I was in the bathroom all last night. I'm just kidding.
no. No.
We don't go into what a poop cake thought is. We can't give it away.
We can't give it away yet.
We can't give it away. That's
Yeah.
We're not doing that. But yeah, and then so I mentioned, yeah, it was so like how did you know? And then also the story about how, you know, sitting in the uncertainty came to be. How did that come about?
So it's a really common OCD treatment phrase. But for me, it was, I was sitting in my therapist's office, and the parking lot is right behind her office, so you can see it from the windows. And I had the thought of, like, I didn't lock my car. Like, what if it gets robbed?
Mm-hmm.
And I said to her, like, I don't know if I locked my car. And instead of just letting me lock it, her response was like, okay, we're going to sit in the uncertainty.
Yeah.
And she, like, actually took my keys from me because, like, I just wanted to lock it.
Meanwhile, your car is rolling down the hill because you forgot to put it in park, and you would just find that out if you just went out there. And, like, meanwhile, last night we see this movie where this guy, he's like, did I put the what is it, the grate in front of the, you know, in front of the fireplace, and then his house burns down, and horrible things happen to his family, and we're like, yeah, we wouldn't do that. Hopefully.
Yeah. Exactly.
Oh, jeez. Knock on wood.
Yes, exactly. Well, and that's something that I would check, like, but the goal is to not check it.
Yeah.
The goal is just to be like, oh, I don't know, and just walk away. Because what happened to him, like, it happens, but it doesn't happen all the time.
Yeah.
And I think that's the important part of, like, sitting in the uncertainty is, one, accepting that, like, that it might happen, but that if it happens, like, you'll have the skills and tools. And I think that's, like, the key part is, like, no, accepting that it might happen. And also being like, well, if it does, it does. Like, maybe not. Like, I have a question.
Yeah.
We were talking about, we talked about this, but we were talking about New Year goals.
Things we learned.
Yeah, that's where I was going with that.
Yeah. Things you go first, or if you
I want you to go first. That's why I wanted to ask.
I'll go first. Okay.
Not to put pressure on you.
Pressure. No, if I'm being sluggish right now, it's because I just had fucking eggs Benedict and full stack of French toast. So I'm toast right now. I am what I eat.
Yes.
I think what I learned is, you know, if I would just look at it this way, at the beginning of the year, I went from being someone who didn't make time for, and I would go back as I'd say my year started in December of last year, just because, you know, Mike died in the 15th of December, and I didn't, you know, if somebody told me Mike was going to pass, I don't know if I would have, or like nobody, if somebody told me Mike was going to pass and it would become the defining thing about my year and shape the way I spent the rest of the next year and become like the most important thing, one of the most important events to happen in my life, I would have been like, no way, you know? I also, if somebody told me I was going to make a film about him, I'd be like, and it would be this, like, what it is, I'd be like, no way. Yeah. That's, like, crazy, really.
That's what grief does, right?
Yeah, but I went from being somebody who, you know, I I regret this. I remember not dancing at my sister's wedding. Like everyone's like, "Oh, come, like my aunt's like, come dance with me. Like different people are like, come dance. Like, Tom, you're not gonna get on the dance floor. Granted, I don't drink very often. There, everybody at the part of their group was like drinking the whole day. I'm like,
Yeah.
all right, fine, I'll join in. I'm like, so I'm not being myself. And
Yeah.
I don't like drinking anymore because it's like, I really just don't like drinking in general because, I don't feel like I'm able to be who I am. But yeah, I went to, like I would never really, I thought it was, I didn't make a big deal out of spending time with people, friends. I didn't make a big deal out of, I made a big deal out of work.
Yeah.
I need to be pushing myself and just working myself down to the nub and just editing constantly. If I'm not editing, I should be writing, or like I should be getting something done constantly.
Yeah.
And any free day is a day spent unwisely. And
That's interesting.
I look back at my work then versus, once I realized, all right, I need to prioritize time with friends and family, and I need to make that time.
Right.
No one's going to make it. Like, no one's going to schedule meetups. No one, people rarely do. Actually, lately, people have started because, like, and it's been people who I started scheduling things with.
Yeah.
Like, Evans started inviting me to stuff, and
Right.
I start like hanging out with friends and just doing stuff with people, but it started out this year as like, all right, my friend just passed away. Let's get a bunch of people together and have dinner.
Yeah. I love that you did that.
Also, my dating life picked up. I started actually, I don't know, like I started going on great dates and meeting awesome people, and then I met you, and it's like, I think at the beginning of the year, I started listening. I knew I needed I read a lot of books. At least I did last year. And I found a book. I'm like, I need to find a book that's spiritual, because I just, my instinct, my gut told me, you need something spiritual.
Right.
You need something to, work on the spiritual part of you, and because it needed work. And I always heard about The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle, and I was like, all right, I'll give that book a shot. And lo and behold, I've had a few books that are my favorite books in the world, that when I read them for the first time, it's almost like it just soothed my soul reading the words of that book. First one was, earlier was Stoicism books. Earlier was Seneca, but the real first one for me was Meditations by Marcus Aurelius in 2017. I read that book, and I started listening to that every night before I go to sleep for like an hour. So I've gone through that book hundreds of times, maybe thousands at this point. Wouldn't surprise me, because I've been doing it for almost 10 years, eventually like probably 7 years. Then the Tao Te Ching was the next one. And this book kind of, like The Power Now, really kind of gave me everything I needed from those books and more. I actually don't really listen to Tao Te Ching anymore. That used to be my favorite book. I just listen to The Power Now, like on repeat, like whenever I have, whenever I have the free time where I need to like really get my mind right.
Right.
From driving somewhere, I'll be listening to it. And from doing that has brought me more presence. And from that presence, actually, a lot of the good stuff has come. Meeting you has come from that. Better, dating experiences come from that. Improving my work has come from that. I was writing a feature script at that time, and I was at 120 something pages at that point, but it wasn't going where I wanted it to. It's the script that I read to you earlier this year, and it's not, or last year. And it wasn't. It was the version I wrote before wasn't the one I read you. The one I read you was the rewrite, where I went back through and made it nonlinear and just did all these things to kind of take it to a whole new level. And it's the work. The work is something I've always wanted to make. And then I wrote a short film in that style about Mike. And I don't even know how that got started. All I know is I just was doing short films. I'm like, I need to do one more short film. I didn't feel like I had made the short film to end all my short films. Like I wanted to just
You have now.
Yeah, I have. I have now. I just got finished editing it,
yeah.
but damn, dude, like that film. Like, I don't think I'm ever gonna put a short film to festivals again, because it's like, what's if this one doesn't do well, it's just a waste of time for me.
Right.
Because it's like it deals with all the shit I went through this year,
Yes.
and it's there's been so many signs that this film has something special to it and is going to go special places.
It
And
does.
it's like a once in a lifetime kind of movie you make, and it's responsible for a lot of the good that's come in my life, and a lot of good that's come into other people's lives as well. Like Damon went through a big change because of that. But you know, basically I'd summarize it as like, I learned to really be present this year, and also just get out of my own way and allow God's vision for me to kind of come through and permeate things, and me not trying to control things.
Right.
And now, you know, if I see just the opportunity to go and make a film myself and do something, usually I go do it, which is something that Mike usually tried to teach me, is like, just get out of your own head. Just stop being a pussy. Go out, and if you want to talk to that person that you think would be interesting to talk to, go do that.
Yeah.
If you want to go do that thing, you know, do it and try it. As long as nobody's getting hurt, you know. Go dominate the room. Go network. Right. You know, like lately I've had, you know, I'll see someone in public who I'm like, there's something interesting about that person. They have a good energy, like Mike would say, like they have a good energy. Like
we were in Poconos.
Yeah. Which one?
At the restaurant.
Yeah. Yeah, Chris Jones. We ran into this guy who, that's a good point. I actually want to do a podcast with him.
Yeah.
We had a server who's like doing a good job multitasking. He's like so chill and kind of funny at the same time, and like we're not even thinking about it, but it's just like he's just we thought he was like the cleaner or something. He's literally cleaning the floors while taking our order, not writing anything down. He just does it perfectly, and then it's just like,
well, and having a conversation, talking to you, not
and everyone else. Like he's like the life of the party, and he had just this presence about him. And we're like, I remember telling him like, I gotta ask him if he does podcasts or something, because I have to network with this guy. This guy seems really cool, and I did, and I don't regret it, because he reached out and was like basically he's a comedian, and he's doing someday we're gonna go visit one of his comedy things.
Yeah, definitely.
His comedy events, and we couldn't make it the last one, but we will eventually. That was really cool. That and it's like little things like that. Like my friend convinced me like you got to follow up on those things, and I told him a story on his podcast. Oh, by the way, another thing that changed this year is I started my podcast again, because I realized, when I did that thing where I sit down with people and talk to them, and I felt like I didn't have anything to say, so I'm like, I'll just stop doing this. It didn't matter. It was more of like, it's nice to sit down with people and create a time capsule for them and for me of their memory. Yeah. So that's nice. Yeah. Because, once Mike passed away, our silly little 7-8 hour podcast that was, everyone's like, why did you do that? Made sense. Yeah. And so I've done more of them, and he told me to like reach out to this guy who I met in Boston. I was getting coffee. I was in the lobby or the cafe, whatever the food court is, a little food area is where you get breakfast at a Marriott. And there was a guy fixing the coffee machine, and we just got talking about movies and TV shows, like, and coffee. And it's like, he's like, "Oh, you're drinking mushroom coffee? Like, what do you do?" That sounds disgusting. I'm like, I'm explaining it to him, and then all of a sudden we had a cool conversation. I got his email, but I never followed it up. I got his card. And I lost his card, and I reached out to him actually recently, because years ago Mike told me to talk to him, but I never did. I just never had a reason to. But he's like, you don't need a reason. Yeah. Oh, so I reached out. I have no idea if he'll get back to me, because it's like he probably doesn't remember me. But He's like,
But
that might
he
be
might.
that might be the most interesting podcast you ever
Yeah.
do, he said. And I'm like, you're right.
Yeah. You never know, right?
I just learned a lot of lessons this year from the dude who died.
Yeah.
And so, yes, that's part of the conversation has been heavy.
Yeah.
Like, I realized it's like, yeah, a lot of the things that changed about me this year are because a friend of mine died who I thought, I looked at him and I thought he had all the time in the world to accomplish all of his dreams, and he didn't.
Yeah.
And he was a really awesome dude, and I was pissed off that no one's ever going to know that.
Yeah.
And like, his podcasts are out there, but nobody's watching them. Nobody gives a shit.
Mm-hmm.
But he was the coolest dude I ever met.
Yeah.
And same with Damon.
Mm-hmm.
So, how do you and I still have hopefully time on this earth. I could die tomorrow. I could die in the next 5 seconds from a. I'm just kidding. Sorry.
No joking.
I could go any minute.
Yeah, we all could, right?
I'll go up in flames.
Yeah.
So, why the fuck would I be so worried about dancing at my sister's wedding? Why would I be so worried about going and making the feature film? When I wrote, I'm reading you my World War II script right now. When I finished that thing, my mindset back then in that time frame, I turned away someone in dating that probably could have had, it could have went somewhere. It really would have if I really gave it a shot.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't. And it plagued me for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't anymore. I just bring it up a lot. Sorry.
No, you're fine.
But you were the next person that really I'm like, this is something, this is something you can either, say yes to and it turns into a beautiful thing, and you either say yes and something that you're afraid of becomes beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
Or you realize the beauty in that thing that you are afraid of. It happens so often now. You say yes to things where normally you'd be like, nah. Yeah. Later you're going to regret it because you don't know what could have happened. But you say yes to something when your fear tells you, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Don't be a pussy. Let that fear tell you, let that fear be the sign of, I need to do this.
Right.
Even if you make a fool of yourself. Dude, I went to my high school reunion for 10 years, after 10 years of not being in high school. Weird seeing all these people who I went to school with, and you have, and it occupies your mind in such a big way until you go back to see them. Yeah. And then those giants, those boogeymen kind of thing that, whatever was so big about it is no longer that big.
Right.
And you realize, we were just babies in suits.
Mm-hmm.
We're just,
yeah,
we're figuring this out, man.
Right.
Most of those people who actually went back, I think they were willing to go back because they were a bit self-actualized. Yeah. Most of them. It's funny, most of the conversations I had, the early on were the obvious ones where I'm like, it's obvious to talk to this person, or I kind of feel a sense of talking to this person, even though it might not be obvious. As the night wore on and 4 hours in, my social battery's depleted and I'm just done. I want to be not a narcissist. I want to be a introvert again.
Yeah.
And then I'm start reaching out to people who it wasn't obvious to talk to and there was no reason to talk to, and I just felt like I put my foot in my mouth and it was just awkward, or they were being awkward and they weren't fucking putting any effort into a conversation, and that's fine.
Yeah.
But you talk to your bullies.
Yeah.
Or people who were disrespectful to you when you were in high school. And there's one dude, he seemed really nice. He's having a cool conversation with me, and I'm like, I just can't get over the fucking fact that I remember you saying some fucking stupid shit to me and my friend one time. Yeah. And it's really tweaking me out right now. I'm just, it's good seeing you, man. And I just ended that conversation. I wish I didn't. Right. But I really just, something just built up and I just couldn't fucking handle it. Yeah. And it's fascinating that like you there's so I knew going back that I would get to talk to a lot of people. I would basically learn that it wasn't as big a thing, and I was right. Also, I got to reconvene with one of my friends who I wasn't even close to in elementary school or high school, but I knew him enough since elementary school, and we actually met up and went for a walk and discussed life and shit.
Yeah.
And we're kind of on the same wavelength, and that was really cool. And it sounded like other people had that with other people too.
Right.
So it's like, it was really neat. It was, and it's like talking to people who are going through a lot of similar stuff as you, and so. But it's because you say yes to that.
Right.
If you get into those situations and you have the opportunity to say yes to something something you fear, there's a lot of good that comes out of it, and
that's powerful.
It's presence.
Yeah.
Both.
Yeah.
Both. Power and presence. There's power in presence.
Yeah.
But yeah, I learned that from Mike this year. That's a long-winded answer. I learned that from Mike this year. Is like, gotta say yes to those fucking things. And I said yes to making a film about him.
Right.
To be honest, I was like really afraid of doing it. I just felt like, is anyone gonna get it? And to be honest, there's a lot of people every step of the way who were like, I don't know about that.
Right. Like, what's the point?
Why are you making a film about him?
Yeah.
Either like they did, like, or even me. My first instinct was like, well, how big a deal was he to make a film about him? A pretty big fucking deal.
And if it mattered to you, that's what matters.
And that was his fucking slogan. I'm kind of a big deal.
Oh, that's right.
So, yeah.
I didn't put two and two together.
Yeah, no, I just realized that. So yeah. He was kind of a big deal.
Yeah.
And that's why I had to make a movie about him, because.
And now so many people will know that because of what you did.
Do the short film, do a documentary about him, premiere. And then that, once those are out there, people see the short film. What's this about?
Right.
What's this dude? Why would somebody go to all the lengths of love to make a film about him? Yeah, people would wonder why did somebody go through all these lengths of love to make this film about this dude? And then they'd be able to watch the documentary about it. Then they'd be able to watch this podcast if they so dare to watch a 7-hour podcast about random shit. And then they would get to know who this person was.
Right.
That the world lost. And that feels pretty good.
Yeah. I'm glad.
Just doing the podcast wasn't enough.
Yeah.
The film, and I needed to do something for him, because if no one did anything for him, sure as shit, no one would do something for me. And the fact that I have done something for him, it's like now I meet people. I have a person in my life who sure as shit would care whether something happened to me. And I tell you, when you say yes and you choose love and you try to do something, positive versus, giving into fear, and instead you decide to embrace the uncertainty, things get better.
Yeah.
And it's a chain reaction. And I've had some weird experiences this year related to that, but trying to think what else, but
I have a question for you. You talked a lot about what you learned from work and how you changed work. What about everything else besides work?
Like life?
Like, what did you just learn in life?
It's really, and this comes back to presence, it's really valuable to not try to plan ahead too much. You can have ideas prepared for what you are going to do in the future, but you need to put as much of possible of your focus right here And what happens is, like, look at this vacation. Like, I was so locked in because I just spent 30 days editing after shooting the film and doing the hardest shoot I've ever done. And I just felt burned out. We decided, we just started. We originally were going to do the podcast earlier in the week. Glad we waited until now.
Me too.
We've had a great, week, great several days, going on vacation, just relaxing, spending time together. And, if we didn't do that, we wouldn't have done, certain things wouldn't have happened, or we wouldn't have visited, we were at the grocery store and we're like, we keep smelling that chicken. It ended up being the chicken. We went to, what is it? The one, we were looking for that pizza place, but it was closed. And then we went to something else, ended up working out better. I don't know. So like the little things, like there's little things that can happen that are better than what you planned. And I've learned that comes down to embracing the uncertainty. If you embrace the uncertainty and you're like, I'm going to go live in that uncertain moment right here. And it's kind of funny. Ivan Krapitsky, who I interviewed before, is a filmmaker. He's very deep in his faith, and he wanted to actually, he was like, I think it was something about the uncertainty. I'm like, nope, my girlfriend took that one. He wanted to title his podcast that one.
Really?
Nope. No, Emma's getting that one. Yeah, just, and I think that's where the reason it works is that's how you open yourself up to, God's vision for you. God, how Damon puts it, it's like, God's the writer. In my script, I write that, like, well, if God's the author of this story, and the best way to write a story is to let the characters tell the story, we're here to tell the story that God has for us. But we have to open ourselves up to it. And he has to take the pen, and if you try to take the pen, he'll smack it out of your hand, Damon says.
I like that.
The more I'm able to just get out of my own way and just say, look, I don't know what's going to happen. And granted, I'm always trying to, I'm always asking myself, I'm not doing nothing.
Yeah.
I'm asking myself, what does God need me to do next?
Yeah.
What do I feel deep down needs to be done next? That is, and if you don't know, just start something.
Yeah.
That's actually a really good move. Is just start anything. And then God will kind of help things maneuver into your way. That's the best advice, is like, if you don't know what to write, just start writing something.
Yeah. It's like there's this idea in therapy that I learned this year, but it's like, if you start, starting's the hardest part. But if you say, I'm going to do this for 10 minutes and just do something, like you were saying, the likelihood that you're going to continue is much higher than the likelihood if you didn't start.
Yeah. Yeah, if you, I knew that when I was location scouting for Phantom Friend. All I knew is, I've got all these freaking locations. I got to find a massage parlor. I have to find all this stuff. I got to find all of these things, dude. Yeah. I have to. How am I going to find all this?
Right.
And not only that, I got to figure out how to organize it all within a week to shoot it.
Yeah.
Or that's what people want. And I'm like, and so I started going around and I found a bar. I found and it was funny. When I was doing things, not going out to location scout, later on in the process, things started working out randomly.
Yeah.
But I did visit a lot of places. Fuck, dude, I didn't know that you're not supposed to go visit a bunch of massage parlors and ask to film there.
Yes.
I found out the hard way. Well, not the hard way, but I found out, I might be on the list now because why is this guy visiting all these businesses, they're brothels.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I didn't know that until the 8th one I went to, and the lady's like, wait, did you go to all those brothels? I'm like, what? They're massage parlors. No, they're brothels. Yeah. And I got to sit down with her for 90 minutes and just chat about life and filmmaking and just our experience with narcissists and just oh, that was so fun. Or like what the dating scene is like today, just all sorts of things. And it was so much fun to talk to her. It was just, I mean, you know what? I gotta reach out to her and say, hey, would you like to do a podcast?
Yeah.
I'd bring, like, here's some examples. I'd love to come do a podcast at your business if you're down. That would be really cool.
Well, there you go again, meeting someone you never, and talking to someone you never knew you would.
Yeah. So I'm
And
glad I went
It
to all
impacted
those.
you.
So I'm glad I went to all those brothels. That will be taken out of context someday.
Yeah, it will. That will become a meme.
Should I just leave that in there?
Yes.
Yes. It's hilarious. Oh. Whatever. Yeah, I think no, if I didn't go to all those, I wouldn't have a funny story, and I wouldn't be able to sit down and talk with her and meet somebody new who's probably a friend now. And yeah, it's been, little things like that. And that's what Mike instilled too, is like, he tried to instill in me, and I didn't really listen well enough. It's that he was saying a lot of his success has come from that, where he meets people just randomly, or he has these, like, he shoots his shot with someone like professionally or whatever. It's like,
Right.
I'm gonna reach out to you and say, like he would get jobs because he knew the story about how somebody got their job. They had their kid hold up cards and do a video. It's like, this is, my dad got laid off, all this, blah, blah, blah. That's how that person got the job, and then he worked his way up to become the head of the company. And Mike reached out, had his kid do the same thing, but like different. Like I love your story. Like, well,
Yeah.
all this stuff, and then sent it, and then he got a meeting the next day,
Wow.
and was like in there and got to talk with the
Yeah.
guy. And it's like little things like that. And the only thing I feel like I'm hung up about is, like, I don't even know if it's a hang up. Like, I don't know if I'm just being scared
Mm-hmm.
or if I'm thinking wisely about whether I should ever seek help funding wise for my films. I think there's legitimate reasons why I shouldn't do that, to the point where, like, I think the only reason I would do it, seek funding, is if I really needed the funding to make the film.
Right.
But I know how to make films now
Yeah.
really well without money
Right.
and without stars, without, I like the idea of building myself up as a successful filmmaker with people who, this is their chance.
Mm-hmm.
This is their chance to prove themselves and become famous,
Right.
potentially. Or it's like, I would rather make a film with a bunch of people who see this as like their big shot.
Mm-hmm.
So they're going to fucking do their best.
Yeah.
That excites me. That excites me more than surrounding myself with people who are Hollywood elites and people who want to, just, be a part of a cool project, but I got other options.
Yeah.
I want someone where I am their only option, because if I'm going to make them my only option, I think that's exciting, and that feels more reassuring to me.
Right.
Like, not that, like, hiring a professional actor who's like, or a famous actor or whatever, they wouldn't be professional. They would, but there's something about that where I feel like there's an energy there. If you can bring those kind of people on who need that opportunity, or not just need it, but like, if my films become bigger and the actors are like, this is the opportunity of a lifetime.
Right.
And even if they were famous, they'd be like, this is something that, like, look at like Nolan.
Yeah.
Actors in Hollywood, any actor in Hollywood, if they get a call from Nolan, it's like, they're gonna fucking do it.
Right.
So they're gonna say yes to whatever it is.
Yeah.
Because it's Nolan. And if I can do that, but also provide that to like people who don't have the star power yet, that would be really cool. That'd be nice. And you don't get that if if you're funding a film, you like to get somebody else's confidence in the film. I feel like it just becomes a headache.
Yeah.
Like me even talking about it.
Sorry.
No, you're good. Me talking about it right now. It's just like you can tell I'm exhausted at the thought of it. So I'm like,
you look exhausted.
yeah, I don't even want to do it. Like,
Yeah.
And I kind of like the idea of just using YouTube to release my films. And if I can find somebody who will help me get my film in theaters first, cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
But you still have options.
Yeah. Yeah. But
You were talking about like having people, and like I feel like the way you find individuals to help and act and help shoot all of that, I think you find people with passion.
yeah.
You find the people who really care.
Yeah. Sometimes you find people who don't care.
Well, that's true
and
too.
almost screw up your project, and
But you also learn from
they
that.
don't fucking nothing doesn't ring a fucking bell for them.
I
How?
know.
Oh, that's funny.
But then, yeah,
Oh, sorry.
you don't have to put this in. But then you found someone.
I'll put that in. I don't give a shit.
Okay.
I didn't say anything.
You
I'll
found
write
someone
it
who
down,
like
47.
yeah. You found someone who really had extreme passion for what you were doing,
Mm-hmm.
which I think is cool. But anyway,
Yeah. Yeah, it's nice. It's an idea of reinventing cinema to make it like if I could create films and do them in a way that like anyone has the tools to
Mhm.
do it that way. If I can do that, then you would see more films
yeah,
that are really good getting made.
right,
Like I feel like if you have to create a precedent, a movement of
Mhm.
filmmakers where they don't have an excuse.
right,
Like if I shoot my films on cameras that you can get
hmm
for now, like the Pocket 4K,
right,
not these ones, but
Yeah.
like the Pocket 4K that I've shot a lot of stuff on. I shot, that was our B camera on the
Mhm.
Phantom Friend, and honestly, it could have been the A cam.
yeah,
It's a 6K Pro and the 4K. The 6K Pro is a little bit more detail. Like you can kind of tell enough that it's like, all right, I have it. I might as well use it.
right,
But it fills up my drives way
Mm.
more than the 4K,
Mhm.
and it's not even twice or four times. It's just so much compared
Yeah.
to like the 4K. But the 4K has been a workhorse of mine, and it's like if I can do great work with that,
Mhm.
they reduce the price from $1,300 to $1,000.
Oh wow,
You can
Wow.
do stuff with that camera
Yeah.
that like comes very close to like $50,000 to $100,000 cameras.
yeah,
You know, if you have the lighting right,
right,
and the lighting is expensive, but once you have that lighting equipment and you know how to use it, if I could just teach people to do that, that's like my vision is like,
right,
so I think I'm flirting with the idea of exploring.
hmm
I'm exploring the idea of working with someone. So that's how I would, everything I've talked about, I would frame that. So there's that person I was, that financier who I was talking about, who film financier, like he has a production house. I could be walking into a situation with somebody who I wouldn't want to work with.
right,
But I think it'd be cool to like reach out to them and see, hey, this is a short film I've done. I've got a feature film that's even better. If you want to talk,
Yeah.
if you like my work and you want to talk, let me know. I like your company. Like there's something special here. It
Yeah.
seems like you're actually trying to make something that's makes the world a better place,
Right.
and and that's kind of where I'm at. And
hmm
if my short film speaks to that, and you want to speak to me, I'd love to speak with you.
yeah. And what does that hurt to do?
The only thing it hurts is my guilt. The guilt that if
Yeah.
I'm gonna go talk to this person, feeling guilt to work with them, feeling obligation to work with them. That's what happened when I worked with a director of photography who I found myself changing my entire film, I was out of guilt that he was working with me. It was out of feeling obligated to work with him that,
Right.
you know, I talked myself into it. But he should have knew better than to, like, watch me go through with that, I think.
Right. And I have a challenge for that, if it's okay.
Mhm.
If you want to create a place where you're able to fund other filmmakers, what makes them worthy of that, but you not?
Dude.
Sorry, I didn't mean to.
She checkmated me. I just got checkmated by the queen. Damn,
I won this
that
one.
was good. All right, you won that.
Thank you. No, I'm kidding. No, but I mean it.
You're right. You know, here, you know, and you know, that's something, that's ammunition I can bring to the guys. Like, look, this is my vision for the future, and this is what I feel like I should be doing. I don't even know if I should be talking to you,
Right.
because frankly, I don't feel like I want to accept funding from anyone. I've been telling myself that all my life. I haven't needed it. I've been able to do just fine without it, but I got a runway.
Yeah.
And if I, you know, can't find a return in a big way for my feature, it's like, it's gonna be tough. But just walk them through it. Look, like, I kind of feel like we're at a point now. I know how to make movies as good as a short film
Right.
with little to no money.
Yeah.
Literally just like I was able to do it really well because I have all the equipment, I have all the lighting equipment, I have the skill set to do it and to do multiple different jobs at a very high level.
Right.
And I'm going to continue doing that because it's fucking fun as shit.
Right.
It's the most rewarding thing I do in life.
Yes.
And I like the idea of doing it at that level indefinitely, because then you can continue to inspire filmmakers, a wave of filmmakers to do the same.
Yeah.
And I think that if we don't do that, there's not going to be a new wave of cinema. Cinema's not coming back unless we do that. Like cinema's not coming back unless filmmakers figure out how to make good movies again. But this time they don't have money to do it.
Yeah.
They got to make it with their money.
Right.
And they're doing it. They're kind of doing it, but not well enough.
Right.
Now, I've seen a few films that are decent at our level. It could be better.
Yeah.
And not only that, not only their film, I think the resources to them to get their movie out there in a way that is justified
Right.
is close to non-existent.
Right.
There is like there needs to be a better way to get filmmakers films, indie filmmakers films in front of audiences.
Right.
A more surefire way. Granted, I think you could use different things like streaming platforms, like you can do it, you know, go on filmhub.com and release your film that way, so like Amazon Prime and all that. I think it's a death to your project to go through a distributor. If you're just doing streamers, I think that's the dumbest idea. I don't think you should reach out to a distributor unless they can get your movie into theaters and just theaters. I don't think streaming is acceptable. I think that's bullshit. Oh, I can't wait to go into a meeting and say that to someone. I don't care, dude. I'm just like, and if they have a problem with that, I realize I'm at a point where I'm like, no, if someone has a problem with, why is it that, like, in the past, I would feel guilt for saying something like that. I would feel guilt for saying what I think. But years later, I look back at all those instances where I felt guilt about saying what I thought, and I'm like, no, I should have just said it because it was right. And
Well,
it would
and you
have,
deserve to be heard too.
yeah, and it would have saved me a lot of time to just agree with what I think.
Right.
I'm like, dude, it's weird. It's weird. It's like the more I go through life, the more I'm like, wait, why do I even need this person's feedback? my feature script, I'm not even sure if I need any more feedback. I think it's done.
Yeah.
Like, I know there's a few changes I want to make. I might not even make them in the script of what that I send to people. I might just add it in, you know, my own way. But like, I think, yeah, I think that I'm at a point where it's like, yeah, a lot of the idea, like that's another thing I learned this year. I'm at a point where I look back and I realize the whole time I knew the whole time, but I second guessed myself.
Yeah.
It lacked confidence.
Yeah.
I just have to have confidence in my ideas or my instincts.
In yourself.
Yeah. And yeah, so, it's funny. I went on a date with a chick a while ago and she said that to me. I was talking about like situation I was in. She's like, sounds like you just lack confidence. I'm like, you're right. But nobody's ever said that. Sorry, I keep bringing up other dates. It's terrible. But no, like, she's right. I just lack confidence. And yeah, so this is one of those chicks that lacked empathy. She literally told me, she's like, I just don't feel empathy for people. I'm like,
oh.
Oh, interesting. I don't know if that's gonna work. But yeah, no, I think oh my back.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Well, I'll let you give it. I'll give you your turn. Talking about what you learned this year. I've been going for an hour.
Well, you made me think about it.
Yeah. Well,
that's what this is for, though, right?
yeah. Oh, I appreciate that. Yeah. Yeah. It's so. I think. Yeah, like people. I'm at a point where I would just go to a meeting with this guy if I met with him and just say, look, this is how, if you don't mind, I just want to be completely transparent with you about everything that's going on in my life and what I think about the film industry. And if that's not something you're interested in, that's fine.
Yeah.
You know, I'm just going to be completely transparent with you. And I'm just going to assume that you're being transparent with me. I'm going to connect the dots later and see if I think you are. You know, I'm going to be doing my due diligence as I'm having this meeting. But I just walk him through everything and see if our ideas about life match up.
Right.
And that's how I do any meeting with any financier, potential financier, and just tell them, look, this is my vision. Now, what I would offer is, in return for, if you can help me get my film into theaters, that's what I need.
Yeah.
Is to get my film into theaters. If you can't, I appreciate your time.
Yeah.
I don't know what else they're like. I don't want to put it on streamers.
Right.
Like if I do, I'm gonna do it my way.
Right.
I'm gonna do
exactly.
it myself. And just tell them, look, you know, this is like this. I think that this needs to be done. Like I think, and he might be like wondering, well, wait, how would you make films at that low of a budget? Or you know, or a lot of financiers and producers don't even give a shit if you're making something at a low budget. If it's under 500,000 to $1 million, no producer gives a crap. And I'm like,
but look at the work.
Yeah,
is what I want to say.
Yeah, well, no, yeah, it's like if there's no names attached, it's like that just comes down to they're not really accounting for outliers.
Right.
And I think you can be like really scattershot if you just find the talented filmmakers. Like I know one of them. I know a dude who I'm like, he's got it.
Yeah.
He's got it. And he's worked at it for like all his life. I know those filmmakers. I would just give them the finances to make their thing and try to find some structure, some deal that would work for both of us. And like find a lot of those people. I'd maybe even put together like not a film festival, but like a competition.
Right.
Of like, look, we're looking for filmmakers that can do this. Like if you can send your film to this, you know, that might actually result in a lot of dumb stuff getting through, but or going to us, and we have to weed through a lot of bull crap. But
It's a lot of work, but like I feel like you can find some really cool things doing
Yeah.
that.
yeah, you'd have to like market it like a festival. I
Yeah.
don't know, dude.
Yeah. But what if it's all online?
Yeah. Well, no, you'd have to have somebody watch all the films.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be doing that because I got many other things.
Yeah.
By that point, I'd have too many other
Yeah.
things to worry about. So I hire somebody to watch
Exactly.
the films, hire filmmakers.
Yeah.
Or you know what? I would just, the filmmakers who I do bring on, I would just say, hey,
Yeah. There you go.
I want you to look for this is what I'm looking for. These filmmakers that meet these qualifications.
Mm-hmm.
I want you to find me 5 to 10.
Mm-hmm. And then you watch those.
Let them bring them in.
Yeah.
And like, we're going to give them the opportunity of a lifetime. This is
Right.
what we're trying to do. And this, you're not just trying to help those filmmakers.
Right.
You're trying to help cinema.
Mm-hmm.
We're trying to help cinema. Like we need to, you know, gosh, we need to,
It's a bigger picture they're helping.
mhm. Yeah. So this is my long-winded answer of like trying to figure out what have I learned is I think I might need, like I need to trust my initial instincts.
Mhm.
And yes, my initial instinct says I can make things work myself. I have the confidence that I can pull things off myself just using YouTube if I needed to.
Right.
I don't care.
Yeah.
I'll do things myself without a distributor.
Right.
But if I can find a distributor who is looking to invest and looking to help me get my film to theaters,
Mhm.
or looking to license, I'd be open to that. I just don't know about. I don't know about the idea of somebody giving me a bunch of money to make the film.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like that.
Yeah.
It doesn't.
Where you're at.
It doesn't sit well with me.
Yeah.
I don't think it ever will sit well with
Yeah.
me because I don't ever want to be in a position where somebody tells me something to do something and I have to then battle my conscience about whether to do what they want.
Mhm.
I don't want to be in that position.
Yeah. That's a battle.
And I've already got enough to worry about to make the film. And I think this is where it's like if the producer doesn't understand this, I'm not looking to be I'm looking to be one of the great filmmakers, and a lot of that comes from doing your own thing and doing it your way and getting better at doing it your way.
Right.
And getting so good at doing it your way that nobody really can really deny that it's
Mhm.
good. Do they agree with it? They don't have to.
Right.
You know, and that just comes from experience doing it. And so yeah, I don't think like if that scares away an investor, that's fine. I mean, like, but I was gonna do it anyway.
Right.
Like,
Right.
you're just here to help me do it longer.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I guess in terms of things I've learned is to summarize for the year, you know, going and saying yes and trying stuff and, you know, facing your fears, being present. My work's gotten better. I've figured out how to just face my so, you know, be more outgoing and you know, network with people and try to connect with
Yeah.
people. And also I've learned how to navigate my own emotions better. I've learned what it feels like when I'm dealing with negativity versus doing the right thing. And I've had to, especially lately for some reason, advocate for someone else to do the right thing and really push them to do it.
Yeah.
I used to not do that, but now I'm like, I think I'm in a position now where like, as long as that's all that's about, it cannot be about ego. It can't be about anything else. It has to be about, you're not doing the right thing. Do the right thing. Go do the freaking right thing. I have no vested interest in this except for you being a better person.
Right.
Go do the thing.
Yeah.
And like, if I say something that offends you, I don't give a shit. I'm there for you.
Right.
That's how Mike was to some degree. And so I learned a lot about that. Gosh. So that was a long answer. Sorry.
No, I love it.
So Emma, sorry, I'm taking so long. What did you learn this year?
Whew. I don't know where to start. I think I was looking back, thinking when, I don't know, yesterday at some point, and I just had this thought, not a poop cake thought, but a thought that came into my head of like, you know what? That was my year. Like, that was the year that like that I really turned the corner. And that hit me. But I guess as a little backstory, I started this last year back in partial hospitalization but this time for depression. And here I go again. I was in the darkest place that I think I ever had been, but I didn't fully realize it. And I didn't realize that, one, I needed help, but also I needed to do something for me.
Mm-hmm.
And so I spent the first 3 to 4 months of the year in treatment. And it absolutely rocked my world, but in the best possible way. I learned the silly therapy things like skills and that perfection isn't a thing, and like it's okay to not be perfect. And I don't know, I learned all those therapeutic things, but I also learned a few things from that. I learned about connection. I think that was one of the bigger things. I learned how to connect with people. I learned who to connect with. I learned that connection fuels me.
Mm-hmm.
And that's something I've carried throughout the year. I make a point of, like you said, like doing things with friends, doing things with doing things with a wide range of people, not just one friend all the time. I, from that, have gotten jobs. I've made friends and connected with people who understand all parts of me. Like, I think another thing I learned was that I matter too, that it's okay.
You do matter.
Thank you. It's okay to struggle, and it's okay to do things for other people and be fueled by that, and to give and explore, but that coming back to you is what not makes the most difference, but what matters most. Because if you can't be pouring from an empty cup, and that's what I want to do with my life. I want to give back to other people. I want to listen to their stories. But I'm learning, and it's a process, but I'm learning that I have to take care of me first, and that's okay. I don't know. That was probably one of the biggest ones. I lack confidence too. Shocker. But I also learned that, like, sometimes, like you said, sometimes you just have to say yes. And the power of yes. And I learned that you never really know what's going to come. Like, can I use our relationship as an example?
Go for it.
I was with a friend on my birthday at the beach, or like right before my birthday, and she really encouraged me to do dating profiles again. hadn't done it in years because I thought, like, I'm not worthy of love. I thought I'm not, like, I don't have the skills to, like, interact with another human like that. Like, I don't know, things like that. Those poop cake thoughts. But I listened to her. And she said she would help. And doing that, like, has changed my life. Because I would have never met you. And the power that has brought into my life and the confidence it has given me is unmeasurable. And so thank you. But also, I don't know. I said to you the other day, maybe it was yesterday, that I still struggle, but I know I have a voice now, and I know I deserve to be heard, and I know that it's okay if people don't agree. But the thing that I love the most is now I'm ending the days with smiles. I'm ending this year with, in the best way I could imagine, that I couldn't even imagine. The power that has is really cool.
Can I tell you something?
Yeah.
You are worthy of love. I love you. A lot of people love you.
Thank you.
Everyone I introduce you to, they're like, I love you. I love her more than you, Tom. My mom's like ready to was like, can I have her as my kid instead of you and my daughter?
I love
like everyone and my friends meet you. They're like because you are just a genuine soul, and I don't know. Like I kind of gave up hope of like I never thought in a million years I'd find somebody as genuine as you, and that matters a whole lot to me. And yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I'm worthy of somebody who's as genuine as you. You know?
I'm just waiting until you're done now.
Oh no.
That was great.
I love you.
I love you too.
I'm like I was on the verge of crying.
I
Like,
know, I saw
I don't really cry. Like it's like I couldn't even fucking cry for the Mike film.
Yeah.
Like I was like I just get to this point, but like when he died, I cried.
Yeah.
In private. Like I just kind of like forced myself to feel emotions.
Yeah.
That's also something I've learned is like if you're like it really helps to just kind of force yourself to have those emotions.
Mm-hmm.
Like force yourself to cry like into a pillow at night or something about something is bothering you.
Give yourself that
release. that can help. Like you have to face those emotions in order to let go of them.
I second that one. That's
anger.
huge. Yeah.
Like anger, sadness, rage, whatever, like you have that for someone. Like that whole situation I went through, helping somebody and it just became like abusive. It's like, well, just yelling into a pillow one night actually really helped.
Yeah.
Like, or not yelling, but like just like
letting out
crying or having anger. It's like, that sounds so stupid, but
no, it doesn't.
It's to other people.
Makes sense to me, but
makes sense to us.
Yeah.
But it does help, and but no, what you're gonna say about me being unworthy of somebody as genuine as you. What are you gonna say about
you are more than worthy, and I mean that. I think you're worthy. I know a lot of other people think you're worthy. I want you to know you're worthy, and you matter, and it's okay to feel. It's okay to let those emotions out. I learned that too. I hadn't cried in years, and I'm shocked I'm crying now, but in the best possible way. And that letting that out, that's healing.
Yeah. I'm like, I get close to crying, but I don't.
But you get close.
I know.
And that's a step. It takes time. It takes practice. Trust me.
That's what a real woman is, guys.
It's important to me. And it's important that
You're the most
to me
real
that
person.
you know that.
in this real person.
You're really sweet.
Love you.
But I love you too.
I always like feel like it's a missed opportunity to not cry.
Yeah. Our bodies,
But I just don't know how to sometimes. I don't know why.
yeah. Because our bodies need a release, but our bodies also protect ourselves.
Yeah.
Or help protect us, I mean. And sometimes it tries to protect you when you don't need to be protected.
Like I feel close to it, but I just, and I'm like, yes, let the floodgates go.
Yeah.
But I can't, it's like, it's only in private when it's just myself.
Yeah.
I can do that. As an actor, I can't, like if I'm acting, I can't,
Right.
I'm not an actor.
Yes, you are.
I act in my movies. I'm a filmmaker who
Which
acts.
makes you an actor.
No, it doesn't.
Yes, it does.
Yeah, it's like I gotta figure out how to get past that, where I can just, because it feels like there's a block there, and maybe it's because of having a parent who's very walled off.
Yeah.
Is that if maybe that's what it is, and having that barrier there, emotionally, or feeling like you don't want to be vulnerable in front of that person because they'll say something hurtful. I don't know if that's it. Maybe that's it.
You're trying to protect yourself from getting hurt.
Yeah.
And yet, sometimes you're hurting, and it's okay, and it's needed to be able to receive that care.
Yeah.
Because that's what you deserve.
Mm.
And I like how you said barrier, because what can you do with barriers? What happens to barriers?
You break them down.
You break them down. They come down. They move.
Oh my God.
So yeah, it takes time and practice, but it's okay, and you find your safe spaces. Sorry.
No, it's okay. No.
I didn't expect it to go here, but
No, I like that.
I think it-
that's always a good
it makes a difference.
podcast. I
Yeah.
think. So where else do you want to go? So what else have you? Is everything you've?
That's what I was thinking. Like, I think I keep on saying, well, this is the biggest thing. This is the biggest thing.
Yeah.
I don't know what the biggest thing is. But I think I also learned, and something I really want to carry with me and carry into all the work I do, is that healing's possible. Healing matters.
Mm-hmm.
We all have things to heal. But that taking the time and energy to heal, to work through things that you don't want to work through, that are scary, that it's possible. And people do it every day. And you're not alone in doing it. That was big for me. And I guess that goes back to community and confidence. And they all go together. But I learned that healing is possible. I never thought I'd get better. I don't know if this is okay to go here, but I told you, like, I never thought I'd make it to 18. Never thought I'd make it to 25 then. But that's what healed. That's what I learned. This is, you have the power to change things. We have the power to say, this is not how my story is going to end. And that was big. That gave me hope. And this year, I'm overjoyed that it's a new year. And I never thought that was possible. I didn't understand it. But it heals.
I'm really proud of you.
I'm thankful for you. And I appreciate you. I know I say it all the time, but Just get used to it.
You get used to it. I'm grateful for you. Yeah, this has been the best New Year's I've ever had in my life. Just spending it with you and dreaming about the future.
Mhm.
That means
Staying
the
up late and talking.
means the world to me. You mean the world to me.
You
No, you mean the world to me.
you help me heal, which means you.
You've healed me from myself. I've been
Sometimes we do need to heal from ourselves.
yeah.
Sometimes it's accepting that we're not always perfect. We don't always feel perfect. We do things. I know I've done things physically and emotionally to myself that I never wanted to do, but felt like I had to in order to survive. And it's like, you have to heal from those things. You have to realize there are other ways to do it. That, yeah, I don't know. God.
No. I don't feel like. Yeah, no.
And that the healing matters, works, is possible. And if you don't, I think I just want to.
Yeah, you're being very genuine right now. And honestly, here's the thing. You're opening up in a way where, like, anyone who watches this, they're gonna feel connected. They're gonna feel like they might, if they've been through the same thing, they feel seen.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
there's power in that.
Yeah.
So you're being very powerful and brave for being able to open up about these things. And I appreciate you opening up about these things. And not only that, I'm grateful you're here. My life wouldn't be the same if I didn't meet you.
And I feel the same exact way with you. You know that. Well, I want you to know that.
Oh, I know. Right. Well,
No, that's okay to say.
that's too confident.
No, that's not confidence. That's you're saying yes to what I said.
Oh, okay. I don't want to seem cocky. Like, yeah,
No, you're
I know.
not. No,
If you didn't meet me.
no.
Because I'm so freaking tootin' great.
No. Well, yes, but
You're so funny.
that's not what we're saying.
Oh, we're too dark on that camera. We got to re-record the whole thing. Get the tears back going.
We're using what we got, but no, I'm kidding.
I'm messing with you.
I know you are. That's why I'm messing with you too. I want to finish that statement though, because I feel it's important. I just want to say that along with healing and along with struggle, you usually don't feel like you deserve it or that it's worth it, that you're worthy of help and that getting help is okay. But there are a million different ways to get help. And every single person in this world, including you, including me, is worthy of that help. And that if it takes whatever it takes to get that, there are resources. There are people out there willing to help. And it's worth helping because one day, or worth getting help, I mean. Because one day, someone will have a New Year's like this that never imagined it. And that's life-changing. I hate crying. As I'm saying, crying is helpful.
I want to cry. It's like I'm close to it, and I feel like I need to have that
Let it
release
out.
right now. I just don't know how.
Yeah.
Like, I can't.
You just have to let it go. Which makes no sense.
I just don't know how.
Yeah.
Eventually one day.
It's
I'll cry on this
literally
podcast.
letting.
I don't know how.
Yeah. I believe in you.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
I love you.
I wanted to add that. I love you too. And thank you.
Yeah, I don't know. Like
I think that's what I learned this year.
yeah. I'm like
What?
trying to think what else to discuss.
Yeah, I'm sorry I got heavy.
No. Don't say sorry. What,
I'm not sorry.
I'm not sorry either.
Good.
Always, it's the heavy stuff is what this is all about. To be
Yeah.
honest, like that's honestly, that's more important than any casual conversations that I have. Is like I might like that might become like if you're okay with it, like some kind of clip, because I feel like that is something that is very impactful to someone.
Yeah.
And then they're like, oh my gosh, I want to watch this full interview.
Yeah.
So that might that actually might end up being like the most important part is the heavy stuff. Honestly, the heavy stuff is the most important.
Yeah. It's where people really connect, I feel like.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. I had a thought and now it's gone.
Yeah, I'm trying to think.
Give me a second.
'Cause, like we could like wrap it up right now, but I feel like we've got more to talk about.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't.
Oh, that's what I was gonna say.
Yeah. What? Yeah.
No, just back to our conversation we were just having of like the heavy stuff matters, but it's like seeing these things and connecting is healing, but also doing this is healing me too. And I didn't realize that.
Yeah, do you feel like doing the podcast and interview helps? Does it feel like, does it compare to therapy, or does it like?
Oh yeah.
Like,
but it's more.
It's you're putting your thoughts out there, your feelings.
Yeah, and in a way, at least for me, it's more than therapy because it's like. This sounds cocky, but I have this in my head. I have to keep talking about this and like saying these things because who knows who's going to watch it.
Yeah.
And maybe that one person who is feeling the same way I did years ago, last year at this time, will realize like it will be their thing.
Yeah.
I had those things. I had those keynote speeches is the one I'm remembering. I have one in particular I remember. Ethan Smith's keynote.
Mm-hmm.
That forever changed my life. And that made me really start working.
Do you remember what it was called?
It's Ethan Smith's keynote at the OCD conference. There's only one.
Mm-hmm.
I want to say it's titled something like that, but I don't remember the exact title of it. It's the one I wanted to send to you and I never did, but I'll send it to you. Just not even from an OCD perspective, but just from the power of healing. I don't know. I wanted to send it to you because I wanted you to see like.
Well, we might link it with the description of the video.
Yeah.
Of the podcast.
It's an old video, but you get the point with what he says. But yeah,
it's the feeling that I think when you feel like your pain can help someone else, it's even more than therapy where you're there. Because I feel like with therapy, I've never done it, but like I imagine just talking with somebody else who doesn't need to hear the story.
Yeah.
It's not as impactful as sharing it with somebody it might be the thing that saves their life.
Yeah.
Like the feature that I'm making, it's like that one feels like that's the same. It's I'm telling the story that I needed to hear.
Yeah.
You know, because at one point, and I guess I'll open up about this, is like years ago, or like a year ago or so, 2023. You know, like I was in this bad experience with, a friend, and it I didn't learn until YouTube started sending me videos about narcissistic abuse that I realized what happened to me, and I just was so traumatized by it, and it just, basically I think I talked about this a little bit on my podcast with Jackie that I didn't say the name, but basically I helped a friend of mine with a film, and it just became thousands of dollars, that's $5 to $7 grand of time and money.
Yeah.
And it's just every step of the way I'm being told I'm basically, I think I wasn't being present at the time. If I'm honest about my own shortcomings, I wasn't being present at the time.
Mark that, just so you know, in your head.
Yeah. I was, like, for the podcast, or?
No, as something to talk about that I was a question I
let
wanted
me
to
write
ask
that
you.
down. Not being present.
Sorry.
It's like I wasn't being present at the time. I was looking to use negotiation strategies a lot. I was trying to basically use techniques I didn't realize they're basically being manipulative as business strategies. And that's kind of how my mind was thinking at the time too. So I'm not innocent. Like I definitely was not in a place where I wanted to be, and I just had a friend who like I talked into doing this film, and suddenly she became this high level writer director, even though she never made a film before. Sure, maybe she did theater or something, but she never did a film. And I'm being pushed. I'm being asked to do a lot of things that I was already from the get-go willing to do anything for this person because I cared about them.
Right.
And at some point, early on, I did have feelings for them, and that was still probably there, motivating the feeling of wanting to help.
Right.
But this is a friend of mine who I trusted, who I had a lot of respect for, and considered wiser than me in a lot of cases, who I never felt I had the confidence to basically just check. I didn't turn off the mic just now. Cool. Okay. I didn't feel like I had the confidence to always know what was best for me, and I would always ask for her opinions on stuff, and to the point where I probably asked for other people's opinions, including hers, more than I should have. But I'm at a point now where I'm like, I get what I need to do, I think.
Yeah.
But I still get get advice from people and get feedback, but to see if I'm, if there's a canary in the coal mine. But this is somebody who I did seek guidance from, and it's because of her actually that I'm on the right track with my art. Right around then, she basically showed the warning bells of you are on the wrong track, Tom. You used to be so great. What happened? You used to be so passionate about your work. What happened? And I looked at my work at the time, and she was fucking right. And I started working at it and trying to figure it out. And I had to figure it out myself. But, I was inspired at the time working with her on her thing because she was doing something that was more passionate than I had done in years. And I respected that.
Yeah.
Looking back, the project was garbage.
Yeah.
We saw it.
Yeah.
I wasn't impressed.
No, neither was I.
I'm actually really disappointed. And you know what's funny? I'm glad I never watched it. Because I built it up in my mind to be so much better than it really was that I didn't even want to see it. It was like The Boogeyman. Yeah. And then I wrote the best feature film I've ever written. And I look back at that thing and I'm like, I'm glad I let that drive me because I wrote something better than I could ever fucking be.
Yeah.
But why am I talking fucking shit? Who gives a shit? I don't fuck. If she's watching this, I really don't fucking care. But my phone's better than yours. Fuck you.
Yes.
But yeah. No, I watched that film and I'm just like, it was tough watching it because I just really, it's just like, what the fuck, all this weird fucking memories of what I went through doing that film just came back to me. And what was it worth? Like, why was it worth doing all the shit you did to me? And like really, and what she did, it was a lot of little things. There's like 11 things where it was disrespecting me and gaslighting me for things that I was right about. Here's an
I'll say after your example.
Here's an example. I'll get to the examples, but right now I'm in a place where I will give someone grace. I will do something for them, ask for permission from them, be nice and be kind, and just be like, even if I'm in charge of something, I won't. And I'll try not to push them.
You're damn good at it.
Oh, thank you. But I'll pay attention to how they respond.
Right.
If you tell me that, if you abuse me for being that way for you, or if you try to take advantage of it, or you're disrespectful to me when I'm asking for permission from you when it's really up to me.
Right.
I'll catalog that. And at this point where I'm at right now is if I catalog enough of it really off the bat, like I'll be like, hold on, let me get this straight. It's up to me. It's not up to you.
Right.
And I'm asking permission from you because I'm being a kind person.
Yeah.
And you're going to do that to me?
Yeah.
Really? And, you know, I never really realized this until recently when somebody, you know, filmmaker told me, you know, if God gives us grace, why don't I give someone grace? And I'm like, that's what I'm doing. I'm giving someone grace.
Yeah.
And then somebody also told me like, well, somebody else told me like, God gives us something of value. And we didn't earn it. We don't earn that thing, but we can either accept it or reject it.
Yeah.
God brings us an amazing person, amazing partner. You accept it or reject it. And if you're single, most likely he sent you a lot of good people.
And
And
a lot of chances.
you had a lot of chances. And if I went 10 years single, it's my fault. I got a lot of chances. I didn't fucking do anything with it.
Right.
But God sends you something of value, and I actually got that talk right before I met you. Right before. Right, and when I got that blessed rosary. So there's some weird shit with that. But yeah, basically basically what I'm summarizing is I realize that's genius if God does things that way. It's high level genius way of dealing with human beings.
Yeah.
Give someone grace and see what they do with it. If you be kind to them, if you ask for permission from them, even if it's up to you, who gives a fuck? Be kind, say sorry, do whatever. Be a kind person to that person.
Yeah, it doesn't hurt.
Yeah, it doesn't hurt. What you're actually doing is you're giving them the opportunity to prove with their freedom of choice, freedom of will, free will to do the right thing or the wrong thing. And if they do the right thing for you, that's somebody you want to bring closer to the fold. If they do the wrong thing, you push them away.
Yeah.
And so I use that to filter people out or filter people in. And that's what God does when it comes to heaven or hell.
Yeah.
And so looking back, you know, there was a lot of instances where I was giving them grace and it was being abused.
Yeah.
It was just being an asshole.
Yeah.
Like one instance. Did you want to give your thing?
You just said what I was going to say. I was going to say, I want you to know that's not you. That's abuse.
Oh,
and it's okay to say that. Sorry.
No, you're right. You're good. But no, it's a lot to.
It's a lot to process.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's like one of the first things, or I'd say one of the first things was when it was like, I'm already so stressed from doing other projects at the time, and I'm doing this free project for you. I'm actually funding. I'm willing to throw money at your thing. And she made a big thing of like, we never talked about funding. I told you free. I'm like, I told you I was going to be paying my crew. I told you I was going to be doing this. We talked about it. Like I told you we're going to make this film together. It's not going to be fucking free.
Right.
My time isn't free. Well, she's like, well, my time is just as valuable. No, it's not. No, it's not. How much equipment are you bringing?
Right.
How much, how many years have you spent making films? All right, you've done theater a bunch. All right. No, it's not
That's
the same.
only one aspect.
I'm bringing. Here's the thing: the way that it's valued, your time isn't the same worth as a director. If you're making a film and somebody else is bringing you the resources to make said film, I mean, yes, your time is valuable.
Yes.
But if you're working with a company who's funding you,
right,
I'm the one doing all the work.
You're doing the work.
I'm editing your film for you. I'm shooting it for you. I'm lighting it. I'm bringing the sound equipment. The sound people. I have the gear of sound people that you have to charge $1,000 a day for. Right. I'm a DP that I could charge $1,000 a day to do that.
Yeah.
I could be charging you $10,000. Turns out it cost you $7,000.
Yeah.
For me and for the other person when you went to reshoot it, but you didn't have to because I sent you all the footage.
Right.
Like I did. We shot the entire film. I sent you the footage, and then I. Basically, like there was 11 moments where I really should have been kind of like, that doesn't seem right. But this was somebody who I trusted, and she just informed me that I had been doing the wrong things for 4 years or 5 years, and she had been right. And so I listened to her, and she's also the most religious person I know. So I'm like, I trust you. I trust you completely. And early on, it was, I read her script. This is very close to a script I told you about that I was actually planning to have you play in, Nights with Alice.
Mm-hmm.
Then next, it was, Tom, I want to get anamorphic lenses. I'm like, no, I can't. We can't do that. It's just like there's no lenses in our category that are going to be that expensive, or it's going to be thousands of dollars. I'm not going to buy this. I don't want to spend money on this.
Right.
It's going to be something I have to rent. I have to then jump through hoops of picking it up or renting, doing the rounds. I don't have time to research those lenses. I don't have the money to pay for them. I don't have the time to go jump through hoops to get them and use them for the film and do all the logistics of that. And then I'm the bad guy for that, and because I said no, or I don't know, maybe I was. It was the feeling of being like, I'm doing this for. I was doing it at the time for validation from her that I was a good person. That was the problem. I was looking to be validated that I'm doing. That was my motivation for the film.
Yeah.
I was looking for validation that I'm, a good friend.
Yeah.
And it end the worst way possible if that was my goal.
Mm-hmm.
And that was traumatic, but I'll get to that.
Yeah.
But it's like, third thing was like, we almost had a location, but the tenant, her friend who, had the location, it's like, we don't, like she told the landlord, and the landlord gave us a contract that was like $300 to shoot there. We had to be out by 11, which was impossible because we had to be there till 3 to film it. And I knew that was going to be the case. And we, I basically had to, I had to pay the $300. I had to agree to sign a contract that would have circumvented my business insurance, my LLC, and basically held me personally liable with my own money and assets if any damages were to come up. And this guy lied about the sound curfew. So what else was he lying about?
Right.
And so,
what else would he lie?
he was lying about some things. We caught him lying on some things. Something didn't seem right. But she's like, I'm on your side, whatever you want to do. But this is this is the perfect location. This feels right. Everything feels like this is where we should be filming. And as though God intended this perfect place for her. I get that. But at the expense of me, it's not right. There should have been no but in that sentence. And not only that, it came up month after month.
Yeah.
We had the perfect location months ago. Why is this taking so long? Because you're not going out location scouting. I am. I'm the one who found all the locations. I'm the one who put everything together. You didn't do fucking shit until after I left the film. Then you had a reason to fucking put in the work because you wanted to say, fuck you. That's why you reshot it. You reshot your film because you wanted to say fuck you to me and then go on Facebook and say, oh, my DP forced me to reshoot. No, I did not.
No.
You knew I was going to get you the footage. Mm-hmm. I blocked you for 30 days after I had to cut you out because you sent me 10, 20 messages in a row gaslighting me.
Yeah.
And it's just atrocious.
Yeah. And it's not your fault.
And we're only at number 3. That was red flag number 2 of 10.
Yeah.
You drank on set. At one point it was a joke. You drank more for me. She brought real alcohol to a set where I was expecting her to bring fake alcohol for the actors. One of them is pregnant. It was Jackie at the time, and she brings she asks her she asks if they want to drink real wine for the scene. No, fuck no. And drinks it right before we start filming. And she wanted us to do multicam. I'm like, I don't know if that's a good idea. I caved and went with her idea, and she's like, well, are you sure you don't want to do your idea? You seemed really adamant, but I wasn't confident back then. So I said, no, let's just do the way you wanted because let's see, let's experiment. Mm-hmm. Turned out it didn't look the way she wanted, but I realized looking back, I'm like, I didn't color grade it. I didn't edit the film the way that I would now. And so I was doing a lot of things lazy. Like I actually didn't. I went with the actor's timing on the shoot. I should have cut it together with the timing of the performances and did it single camera. But I could have did that with the multicam, like, or the lighting. She kept micromanaging the lighting, and I'm doing my best for multicam. It's like you can only do so much.
Yeah.
And then that shoot we needed to reshoot, so I just spent all that effort to do that thing, and then paid a bunch of crew and got the location, and then we got to reshoot the whole thing. And then she wants to fire that actress who I showed you her Instagram. She's like very popular.
Yeah.
She fired her. I was on the phone for 4 hours trying to not have her fire her. I brought her to you because I wanted to work with her.
Yeah.
I brought actors to her who were my friends, who I wanted to work with. And your project was an opportunity for me to work with those people. And instead, now you're burning bridges with not only her, you burn bridges with one of them. One actress already, like, either she fired or quit because she wasn't like what she was looking for, or I have no idea, or she couldn't do it anymore because she kept having them do 1 million rehearsals. And like, I'm telling her, wait, I'm hearing that you're having them doing a lot of rehearsals and they're all volunteer. What are you doing? Like, what are you? And when we did the rehearsal early on, this is where I started noticing something was off. Like, it was weird. I was sitting there and I was like, I'll help you with the rehearsal. And she was not like, what was it? She, I didn't want to overstep. If I did, like she's like, let me handle everything. So I'm like, why am I here? Like, this is my look. And she's like, I found her a location to do the rehearsal. And now she's like moaning about how it's so far away. But it's like there was a number of moments where she's giving me constructive criticism, but like, dude, if I'm working for you for free, it's up to you to say, look, hey, I'm really grateful for this. You got to find a way to word it where you're not coming off as giving me constructive fucking criticism where it's like, or constructive criticism where it's like, it just came off condescending.
Yeah.
Like, I don't do that. Like, if I do have criticism for someone, like, I'm just gonna say, hey man, like, and they're doing me a favor.
Yeah.
I'm like, hey man, I really appreciate you doing this, and I don't want to come off as like a douche, whatever. Like, I do. Is it possible we could do this?
Right.
I do that thing where I ask for permission.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not. And if they
I've seen
say
you do it before.
if they say no, it does put me in a precarious position where I'm like, okay, I wasn't expecting that answer.
Right.
Then you got to work from there.
Right.
So, but if you're lucky, if you're doing things right, if you're a good person for people to work with, generally when that hiccup comes up, you can navigate. But that's your responsibility if you're doing a film at this level as a director.
Right.
You have to be giving people grace and being kind and looking to ask permission, even if it's up to you, just to see if they're cool with doing it that way, just to not come off as a fucking tool and not to be high maintenance.
Right.
If somebody's helping you, like I was helping her, you can't be high maintenance to them. Now, you have to ease your way into being higher maintenance. You have to start at low maintenance and work your way up for only the things that really matter.
Right.
She went high maintenance for things that didn't even fucking matter.
Yeah.
That's what it is like when an actor or somebody like you're working with goes straight up high maintenance, like they're paying you millions of dollars and they're a big shot filmmaker that it's your opportunity to work with them. Fuck you.
Yeah.
It wasn't.
Yeah.
I've seen your script. It's not that great, but it's enough that I'm willing to do it because I love making movies and I want to help you.
Right.
So, yeah.
And you cared about her too at the time.
Yeah. So, and then there was a number of other things, like telling me I couldn't do certain things which are like required to make the film, like getting location sound. Second day of shooting, knowing that the first day that was so hard was like shot and she didn't like how it turned out. I'm like all this work I'm doing for you, like,
yeah.
And I was so stressed that shoot.
Yeah.
And the way that I was being treated and marginalized for I'm one of the executive producers. Like, I'm helping you do this film. Like, why are you pigeonholing me?
Right.
And like, and I'm your friend. I'm somebody who cares about you enough to do this.
Right.
And at the end of that, by the end of that shoot, it's like I'm being told what to do, and I'm just trying to help you make the fucking movie.
Right.
And I'm being treated like my voice doesn't matter. At that, look, if I'm doing a movie for you, if I'm funding it, or if I'm paying for it, or I'm doing it for fucking free, you don't get to tell me that we don't get another take if I'm editing it for you.
Right.
You don't.
Yeah.
If it's going to take us to 15 minutes past 3, that's fine.
Yeah.
I don't think it did, but we were up to like 2 or 3 in the morning. If it's going to, you know, that's up to me. That's my decision. I found the location. That's my friend's place. If I'm going to inconvenience her, that's on me, not you. Yeah. Like, if you found the location, if you're funding, if you're paying me, sure, we'll get less takes. But she was treating me like she was paying me a load of money. Wasn't paying me a damn dime. But that was what I was agreeing to. I wanted to.
Right.
And so, and then a new actress who came on, who I've since, just like somebody who you would relate to a lot. All she knows is she comes on this film, sees this grumpy director who, what's, you know, what's his deal? Why is he this, you know, grumpy director? She's never worked with me before. And I think she's the reason that she was able to find a new DP, because she knows the other person. And after I left the project, I debated, and it was after, you know, exchanging emails and messages, and Jackie read everything. Jackie insists that I didn't, like, I was in line with what I was saying. Could I have been a little smoother about it? Sure. But I was being direct about like what, and she was taking it as, you know, like how your one friend would do, if you don't mind me mentioning it. The one who sent you like essays on why you should screw yourself, like my friend did. Like they send you this like 20 paragraphs on why you should screw yourself, a thesis on why you should screw yourself, and basically, after that, I'm like, I can't do this anymore. I went to Mike and talked with him about it, and I was actually planning to go back to help her more and finish it, but he's like, no, you gotta get out.
Yeah.
He was right. And it's crazy. It's like, if I didn't go talk to him, I would have stayed on. I don't know, it would have got worse. And I wouldn't have learned the lessons that I did about, you know, turning negatives to positives. That's something else I learned this year.
Yeah.
And the year prior to, from that 2023 incident. But it's like, you know, I'm not proud of being passive aggressive with her. I just wish I was direct early on, and I never got to that passive aggressive state where I wasn't feeling like anything I could do could save the situation. All I know is I'm being mistreated. I'm being abused. I'm being just disrespected. I'm being, and no one fucking sees it except me, except for a few people. Like a few people knew what was going on. Not everyone. And all of her friends didn't know. They all think that she got screwed over by me. No, she didn't. She got
hide it well.
She got a film out of me. I spent $7,000 making a film for you. Gave you all the footage after you screwed me over. Yeah. And then you do a smear campaign about how, oh, your last DP like screwed you over, and what's funny is I realized the film, when I read the script, I thought it was similar to my script. And testing, I'm wondering if that was a problem, if that was near my microphone. Whatever. Whatever. I'm just wondering, like, I wonder if that was an issue.
Do you want to check?
I'll find out later.
Okay.
It's what it is now.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm just wondering, like, was I just realized my headphones were next to the microphone. I'm like hoping it wasn't. Whatever.
Yeah.
I'm. You know, I just. What was I saying?
You realized.
About,
You were talking about how like.
What was my train of thought? Sorry.
No, it's okay. I'm losing it. You were talking about how you realized like what was happening, and then that was.
Yeah. Yeah. I guess. I forget where I was, but it. Yeah. Yeah. I'm being abused. All these things, and it's like. What was it worth? But I realized that negative experience and walking out of that, and then also I almost didn't get my taxes done in time. I got it done in the nick of time.
Yeah.
But I was just so devastated by the whole thing.
Yeah.
And it's like, but it led to me growing and moving through that pain and working through it. So, and that's where I'm at right now because of that. So, but yeah, like. No, it sucks. It makes me realize like people don't fucking know sometimes the context, and sometimes they won't know unless they've been through it, where they know. Like I looked at that situation, I'm like, how the fuck is it possible for somebody who I would have believed if I heard this story, I would believe her.
Right.
That's what was crazy to me. So I didn't fucking say anything, and I was driving. I was actually driving thinking, should I tell this one actress who just working with me for the first time, you know, what really went down? And right when I'm thinking that, I'm thinking her name. And I go by a sign and the sign has her last name on it. Right when I'm thinking it was weird. I'm like, was that a sign that I should? But I didn't. I didn't say anything. And then she probably got this other director involved to do the film and make it look better than probably I could have made it look. I don't know. Our work is pretty similar, but yeah, it's just, I wonder how different it would have turned out if I told her. Like I knew there were certain people I shouldn't tell, but her, I feel like I could have. Yeah. But I didn't know how. Yeah. I really just didn't understand like what to say. Yeah. And I then sent her my Nights with Alice script, and I have an inkling that she sent it to her thinking it seemed similar, but really it was like I was telling her about that since 2019, and then in 2022 or 2023 she comes up with her script. I'm like, thanks, I guess, you know. I basically I don't know what to. And I've debated whether to reach out to her because I have a project coming up that I might need actors for, and I think she's interested in working with me again. But like we've worked together since, and it's like I think she realizes that I'm not this like jerk, just from working with me. But I had never said anything. Yeah, and I would just tell her like, hey, you know, this is like I was wondering if I could tell you what happened. Yeah, like I never wanted to, and I always regretted it. Yeah. Because I only told a few people what really went down. And I come at a point where I'm ready to tell people what happened. Yeah. You're getting your voice. Yeah. Like, I feel like I know what I did wrong, but it doesn't even come close to what was done to me. Right. On that project.
And what you did wrong isn't your fault either. You were reacting to something that was happening to you.
Yeah. Oh, thank you. Oh,
I'm proud of you.
Oh, thank you. I love you.
I love you too.
Now I'm like worried is the microphone. When we stop, I'll have to listen to it and see if it. But it's like whatever. Yeah. I've got microphones all up the wazoo. We're good. We should be fine. Yeah. Tom. Embrace the uncertainty. Yeah, that's right. All right. See, folks, if you just embrace the uncertainty, you'll be fine. So we're like, with this and the other podcast we did, we're up at like 3.5 hours. Yeah. So What else do you want to discuss? Or if you want, we
I
can
have
wrap
two
it up whenever.
ideas.
Yeah, what's up?
But the one I told you to mark.
Oh, yeah.
We talk a lot about being present
Yeah.
and how that like really makes a difference and like is important.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I just thought that like I wanted to know how
Yeah, go for it.
no,
Sorry.
I know. It was cute. I just wanted to know like how that's impacted your life and how
Being present.
yeah. Or like what you would say about it.
Well, I find it helps with anxiety
Yeah.
a lot. Like I mean, that book, The Power of Now, I listen to all the time for anxiety.
Yeah.
I realize I have anxiety,
Yeah.
but it's like I've always had it. But and that's why I like books that like soothe your soul, because
Right.
it helps with your anxiety and but looking at the present and realizing knowing I find it's knowing that the future and the past do not they can be completely eliminated. You don't have to think about them. Like what there's never really an instance where thinking about the past or the future really helps, except if you're communicating with another person
Right.
about something or doing a thing or doing an action. And if you're focused totally on what you're talking about with that person, that person or that action you're taking, whatever is in the past or the future will come up organically. And so if I'm making a podcast, I will
Right.
talk about the past or the future, or
Right.
if I'm writing a script, I talk about the past or the future, something that's non-existent. And that comes up organically. And
Yeah.
and
That's
and
what
if you're just thinking or talking yourself, like I find myself talking to myself about what conversation I haven't had but might never or may have with someone in the future, and I get all up
Yeah.
about it. And that is where, like, especially like if you have PTSD from someone, doing something to you, like I used to like a year ago, whatever, I would have these conversations with her for that film. I'll have conversations with
Right.
her. I used to have conversations with
Right.
her, or lately it's anyone who I'm like dealing with problems with now. I'll have conversations with them, and but it's fun, but it's useless. It's useless, but it's fun. You might come up with a few things that you might say in the conversation, but it's better to have those things come up during the conversation.
Right.
I find that, like, whether you're doing martial arts or anything, actually in martial arts, I'd say there's truth to that, where whatever comes up in the moment is better than what, you can imagine. But in martial arts, actually, I'm learning you do need to drill certain moves because they are useful, and a lot of your opponents are going to just keep using the moves that they drill. You do need to drill certain things. So maybe drilling a conversation isn't so bad,
Yeah.
but it can become unhealthy.
Yeah.
And it can be OCD.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know.
that.
Yeah. It's hard to say, but
I think that's a good explanation of like what being present
yeah.
is. It's something you've taught me a lot. And I know we've talked about a lot, like being present in the moment. And a long time ago, a few years ago, I did a meditation course with my mom. And it was a lot about like being present. But I don't know, it's hit differently this time. And I feel like it's been more useful to like even hear you say like, I got to be in the present right now, because it like pulls you back in.
You can ask yourself, what is this moment lacking?
Ah, I like that.
It really brings you down to you have to feel.
Yeah.
So it's really about feeling the moment.
Right.
And, one of the things, it's like, if you can go to therapy and be psychoanalyzed and have a book written about you and all your neuroses, but at some point you realize it's not doing a damn thing. What does a thing is if you're focused completely on moving forward, and that requires being just in that totally focused on the moment ahead of you. All I'm focused on right now is having this conversation with you, although I'm focused on the camera.
Yeah.
But I need to be focused on this conversation
Right.
and recording it and everything within that first step. I'm being present, although I am doing the
Right.
recording. I'm being present to do the jobs that I need to do.
Right.
You can split that presence, but you have to be aware that you're splitting that presence. Like on set, when I'm doing multiple jobs, I'm being writer, director, actor, DP, all at once. That works, but you are splitting your presence. But if you know how to divide your presence accordingly, meaning I know as a director what I need to do to be effective at what I do. I've done good films, I've done bad films, I've had good performances, I've had bad performances in my film. You hire good actors, prove that they know what they're doing in an audition or I've worked with them before. Be honest with yourself. Are they good? Good. And then rehearse with them on their own. Make sure that they know what they're doing for each moment, how they should hit it. And then when you're in the scene acting with them, pay attention to what they're doing in the scene while you're acting with them and, help them out and give them. And I find that I could, be present enough for my acting while knowing how I feel. Like I've learned to trust, okay, did I feel it from you? No, let's go again. What was missing? I think this, let's try this. And then if I need to stop focusing on my performance and just see, I'll give them a direction and say, try this real quick right now. I want to see how you do it. That's exactly what I want.
Yeah.
So you have to know how to turn off, and that's where it gets fun.
Yeah.
That's where it becomes high level 4D chess, where it's like, I'm going to turn off the presence for this thing I got to do.
Right.
I'm going to turn off the presence for directing, DPing, acting. But I'm going to focus on just directing this performer. And then the next performance is going to be, they'll get closer to what you're looking for. Do you need, as a director, to sit across from your actor and be totally engaged in what performance they're giving all the time? If you're looking to be if you're looking to go absolutely all the way, yes. But I'm an 80-20 person. I'm looking to get the 20% that gets 80% of the results.
Yeah.
And if you don't think that works, look at Kubrick.
Yeah.
I mean, he'll do 1,000,000 takes, which isn't 80-20.
Right.
But sometimes he doesn't fucking tell the actors to do anything.
Right.
A lot of directors are lazy.
Yeah.
They don't actually tell the actors to do anything. There's a lot of takes where they just sit and watch. I can sit and watch while I'm acting with you. I've found that I have the confidence now that I don't even have to film rehearsals.
Right.
I used to think I had to.
Yeah.
I feel like I can get the gist of the energy on set, and I feel like it worked.
Yeah.
We proved it.
Right.
It was a theory. It worked.
Right.
We proved it. It's kind of funny. Never mind. I don't want to talk about this on the podcast, but just because it involves the title of my trilogy.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
So-
I might cut that out. But wait, 131, cut that out. Hold on. 131, cut trilogy out. Find. Fuck, I mentioned her name. I can't believe that.
I know. It's okay. You weren't. It wasn't on purpose.
But you question.
I had a question because I'm trying to learn more and figure it out. Did you learn it through trial and error? Like, how do you know, like, what? Sounds stupid, but what to focus
from
on?
trial and error, doing yourself. But I read a lot of books, watched a lot of master classes, and yeah, it's both.
Okay.
And like I read a book on how to direct actors, and it actually gave me like workbook assignments that you fill out, homework to fill out, and I actually put the time in and work in to do that, but I realized I don't need to do that.
Right. Now you know.
I know how to do that stuff instinctually.
Yeah.
I found at this point, like you try different things, but
Right.
at some point instinct takes over
Yeah.
of what works and what doesn't, and so just focus on that.
Okay.
Yeah, I found that doing like trusting your instincts at some point after doing the work, do the groundwork, but then trust your instinct is the best way to go. But now from having done it trial and error, I realize my process, and I realize, okay, I have limited presence. I respect that. But most directors, most filmmakers, most actors, they just have no fucking clue when to turn it on, when to turn it off for separate parts of the process.
Right.
I'm actually really excited right now by the prospect of learning how to juggle those different things, the different tasks of presence. I had to juggle that with acting, knowing when to be focused on my acting more, when to put more presence on the acting, when to put more presence on the directing, when to put more presence on the DPing. When I put presence on the DPing, it's between takes. I put presence on the lighting. I get the lighting right. I light it in a way where the if my camera operator moves the camera a little bit, or we don't even need to move the camera. Actually, we used it on the tripod a lot. Have that locked in and be what you want, and get that all set up before you do a take, or if you have to do it, if you do a take, you want to redo it, between takes, whatever. And then when it came to directing, I knew from a prior film, when I experimented with this, it was after the film with her, I did a film where I was just directing. That was all I was doing. And I realized there was only a certain situation where I needed to, there's only one instance where I needed to actually direct the actors on set. It was all during rehearsal. So I do rehearsals, but now I do rehearsals separately with the actors separately, which actually is more economical and easier on lower pressure for the actors.
Right.
And even Shelby mentioned that, like she liked that. So, I mean, and it was easier, less time consuming for her. And so I get to come out to the actors' place, walk through the script for them with them, and, answer their questions. And if they're a good actor, you don't even need to run through that scene. Like if I have confidence in you, I don't even need to run through the scene with you.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna or we might run through the scene once or twice, and I'll give you a little direction of what this means. And that helped a number of times with directing them. It's either you do that ahead of the shoot, or you're going to be facing that on the day, and you're going to be bombarded with a lot of stuff you got to get done, and you didn't take the time to do it.
Right.
So you do that at rehearsal. So you've done all your 80 or 90% of your work at rehearsal to direct the actors. If they're a less experienced actor, you do run through the script more vigorously, more rehearsals if you feel like they need it. So that really comes down to where's the actor's skill level, and you can actually rehearse with actors separate, which is also logistically a lot easier and less boring for people than sitting around waiting for their scene to rehearse it. What else?
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
With acting, especially when it's on your own coverage, or when you are on camera, I know that I have to really turn it on. If it's somebody else's coverage, I will perform in a way that I can help them perform better, in a way where I'm giving them, I'm feeding them my lines the way that I want them to react. And it's funny, I actually like my performance in Jose's footage when the camera's not on me. And so that says a lot for me. Is when I realized, oh shit, I'm actually giving what I wanted from me when I'm trying to get a reaction of Jose, which was great. But I love that 4D chess of, now I know from my own experience what gets the best directing, what gets the best DPing, what gets the best acting from me, what gets the best writing, editing, all these things, what gets the best of everything from doing it. And then I knew how to put the pieces together. First, I did Good Mothers, where I directed and DP'd a film to my liking. Then I directed, DP'd, and acted in a short film. Now I'm ready to do that for my feature film. I like finding those new challenges, and So that was exciting for me.
Yeah.
And
You did amazing.
oh, thank you. You're amazing. Oh, thank you. Yeah, like what was the question you asked to let
About like being present.
yeah.
But I wonder.
I divided the presents, but
Yeah.
I wasn't on set present. When I was on set, I was present with the tasks at hand.
Yeah.
And there was a bunch of other tasks, but I knew how to be present with what was required.
Right.
Presence is not just being a director for the whole time being fucking bored.
Yeah.
You can be multiple jobs and be present. What being present means is when I'm on set, I'm not dealing with fighting a fire going on at home. I'm not dealing with some other problem.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not there complaining about something when I should be working.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm not doing anything that's not directly tied to moving the ball forward in whatever situation I'm doing it. Or that's the ideal.
Yeah.
And that's where you have to like focus in on that moment. And that's high level. I'd say it's like high level presence when you're doing a film like that and you have to do all those different steps. But like everyday presence is just, you know,
Yeah.
I'm
Like
here
now.
and right now.
Yeah. That's what I was going to ask.
I don't know where this conversation is going to go next.
Right.
That's exciting.
Yeah.
And I want to go wherever it goes next.
Yeah.
So
That's cool.
that's presence right now.
Yeah. That's what I was going to ask. How do you bring it into your, like, you explained work. How do you bring it into your, like, current life?
Be ready to say yes.
It goes back to the yes. Yeah.
And like yes to something that's not obvious. Look for the yes. Look for the yes. Look for what is something I could say yes to right now that if I wasn't being present, I wouldn't even notice it.
Right.
You know, you said maybe you said something a certain way. Why is that? And I started asking you about your day, genuinely wanting to know and saying yes to that. And maybe you could be some random stranger on the street or something, or somebody I just met. Maybe asking you certain questions.
Right.
And it's not even small talk. It's just deep, introspective questions. And and that could lead somewhere. You don't know where.
Yeah. You're really good at that.
Oh, thank you. Well, I've gotten better at it.
practice.
I've gotten better at it. Yeah. So you just like you look for that moment, that question, that what can I say yes to here?
Yeah.
Look for the yes. I like that. I like that.
I like that. Yeah.
Look for the
Look
yes.
for the yes.
But
Yeah.
yeah. Trying to think, what's the next yes we can look for here?
I don't have any more questions, so.
Yeah, I don't have any more questions either. I mentioned her name. I have to go through. I have my earbuds next to my microphone, so
We can check it after, right?
testing might have. Yeah, we'll find that out right now. But yeah, I mean, unless like I can stop this, and if we have any more we want to discuss, we could do that. But I say
This is good.
I say we wrap it up. We might even it might be even 3 hours and 33 minutes. Who knows? That would be so funny if it was.
That would be.
We'll see. It could be. I don't know. All right. Well, I guess we'll wrap it up now.
Yeah.
And unless there's anything else you want to discuss. But Emma Wilson, I'm grateful that I've met you and I have you in my life, and all the healing and good things that I've brought because of you. And I hope that in this new year I can continue to return the favor for you and all you've done for me. And I just want you to know I love you. And yeah.
I love you too. And you already have returned the favor. And some.
Well, we'll wrap this up now. And appreciate you guys watching. Embrace the uncertainty with Emma Wilson. Love you.
Love you.
Love you all.
Yeah.
I might start saying that.
Yeah.
Later. Thanks for watching.